Welcome back to another episode of the Otter Players Podcast, where this week Xbox cannot stay out of the news for better or for worse. EA announces a strategic partnership with Stability AI, and honestly, I don't know where it's all going from here, but this is looking like the future of gaming, according to Sarah Bond in her interview. So, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it, talk about it, and before we do that, we're going to talk about what we've all been playing. Weeb, how are you, man, and what have you been playing?
Oh man, I've been laughing my ass off all week.
It's been a good time.
Hey, it's been a good time. I mean, it's sad, but also it's just funny. Um, what I'm playing? I've been playing apparently the fantastic Xbox Studios game, Ninja Gaiden 4. Um, I mean, it keeps reminding me of that every time I boot the game up. Even though I don't think Phil has probably any idea what Ninja Gaiden is, but I
Mm-hmm.
digress. But yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying it immensely. And I have to say, like, I'm not the biggest Ninja Gaiden fan, but this is the best one I've ever played. But probably because it plays more like a Platinum Games game, because obviously, it's been created by Platinum Games. Um, yeah, I mean, it feels amazing. Like it does have that difficulty of Ninja Gaiden, so it's pretty brutal. If you're not careful, you'll die fairly quickly. But it's like it has all the flair of a Platinum Games game. There's like a ridiculous amount of moves you can learn. There's so much depth to the combat. Like you can you can dodge, you can block, you can parry. So that instantly means that Omar's not interested in the game. Um, and yeah, absolutely brutal. Just not just difficulty, but also like typical ninja game where you can dismember your enemies, have brutal finishers, and even like it adds to the gameplay as enemies that are dismembered. You can finish them off, but they can also use a desperate last resort attack where they try to do some massive damage to you as sort of a death throw. So yeah, I do also have to be careful, not to get blindsided by them. But yeah, I mean, I've been having a blast, like it, and it does feel almost like sort of the sequel to Metal Gear Rising we never got in a sense. Now you're playing a ninja in sort of with sort of mechanized opponents, but also a lot of demons, yokai to fight, and as I think even the same vocalist who's doing the when the the vocals play during some tense fight sequences. Yeah, I think that's the same guy that did the soundtrack for Rising. So yeah, I mean it feels like a Platinum Games game through and through. I saw some people complaining about like, dude, that's the entire reason I bought this game because I mean if this was another Ninja game, just a straight up sequel without any change up to the formula, like I would have probably just left it there and played it maybe in Game Pass if it was coming there. Um, but now I'm like as soon as they announced that Platinum Games was working on it, I just had to have like I ordered the deluxe edition, playing on the PlayStation, of course, because that's the best place to play it. Um, yeah, I mean it's absolutely a fun ride. So yeah, I've been probably halfway through, so I think that it's not going to take that long to finish. But I mean, it certainly has plenty of content, plenty of variations also in the weapons that you're unlocking. Like there's some crazy weapons. Like you initially just have dual blades, and then you have like a sort of drill that just can turn into a giant drill and just puncture through enemies. A staff that can turn into a hammer. and basically a sort of weapon that can turn into whatever you want it to be. So you just either throw it or use it as a melee weapon and just change its form with every iteration of the combo, which is pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, what else is there to say? It's just, and surprisingly, I do even like the story, even though IGN apparently wants to complain about it, even though they admitted that it was never the strong suit of the series, which I can totally agree with. Like, generally, the story is pretty bad. But I think here it's still simple story, but at least the characters are actually interesting. Even the protagonist. I think the problem that these people have is that they don't understand that you have to play this in the original Japanese voice track and not in the English dub, because that they really phoned that in. But the Japanese dub is absolutely fantastic. You can probably guess some plot twists based on who's voicing who, if you're watching anime. But other than that, it's yeah. I would highly recommend it if you, even if you're not a fan of Ninja Gaiden. I think if you're a fan of Platinum games like Bayonetta. Yeah, I mean they also obviously created the original Devil May Cry before they split off from Capcom. I mean, yeah, if you like those games, you're definitely gonna like that. And I say if you're a stickler for Ninja Gaiden, even then I'd say you're probably still gonna enjoy it, because it does keep the difficulty, the brutality. It just essentially just made it better by having the absolute kings of character action games actually making this game and turning it into what it, I suppose, in my opinion, should be. Because if you're getting the Platinum Games touch, you know that if you're wanting to make a game like that, you're going to get the best quality gameplay you can basically want. So yeah, that's what we've been playing.
Cool. Sounds like you're having a ball. I've definitely heard a lot of good things about uh, the new Ninja Gaiden. So yeah, not out of the ordinary to hear that you're enjoying it. I don't know when and if I'll play it. Like I said, I've never been a big fan. I have played the previous games, but again, it's just priorities right now when it comes to gaming. Like, there's just too much, and 2026 is around the corner, and it is not given
I
no
get it.
breaks.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. I mean, to me, it's the same thing. There's plenty of games I still want to play or want to play this year, and didn't get around to, because it's just an onslaught of games. And I know that I also have to be careful planning next year, because, like you said, it's not going to stop.
Yep.
But I think you if you enjoyed any of the other Platinum games, you're probably going to enjoy this. I guess if this is not your thing, then it's
Yeah.
probably not going to be high in your priorities. But like I said, like it definitely like I'm not also not the best, yeah, the greatest fan of Ninja Gaiden, but yeah, I mean this one feels like it's never been as fun to me to play a Ninja Gaiden game as it has been now. Like, it, ironically, since you're actually not even playing with Ryu, the main protagonist of the previous games. I think you do play him later on, but still, yeah, that it I guess that's probably their sort of choice. I mean, like, okay, let's just switch a protagonist so we can just build our combat around him, instead of having to deal with all that baggage that the character had from the previous games. So to not deviate too much from it. Work wonders. Like it's kind of, I've seen that in that there was this video on Twitter where some guy really sucked at it and complaining about, like, oh yeah, now they have super armor. Like, yeah, but they literally explain everything in the game. Like, yeah, if they have super armor, you need to use your uh, your blood attacks, which has a consumable meter to actually stagger them, so you can actually and then you can counter attack. So everything is basically it's with platinum games it's going to be extremely smooth gameplay experience, and they have thought of everything. Like, it's not going to be unfairly difficult. You just have to pay attention. Like, yeah, you can't just keep spamming the same attacks, because it's not going to work, because there isn't like with every game, there are systems in place, just like with Yote, you had enemies having, you have to respond differently to different attacks. Some attacks you can dodge, like, or block. So that's the same exact principle here. So it was pretty funny seeing that guy. I knew that as soon as I saw it, that he was doing it wrong. And yeah, like 5 minutes in the game, and like, you do it. Like, I already figured out what you were doing wrong. I mean, yeah, you're either purposely trying to make some clickbait, or you really have a very short attention span. But okay, I digress. I'm done.
No, all good. Morgan, how are you, ma'am, and what have you been playing?
Yeah, I'm good. Um, I don't know if I covered this because I didn't, or I was late on the last show. Um, but I did Platinum Ghost of Yotai. Great
Congrats.
game. Absolutely loved it. Thank you. Um, it's like made itself like number 3 on my list for Game of the Year, with Expedition, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and then Ghost of Yotai. So
Oh, that
yeah,
is that
I,
is
I
impressive.
think
Above Death Stranding. Okay.
yeah. I think that Sucker Punch did everything right. Like, exceeded my expectations in what they were gonna do. Because, even with the, we got, videos and the state of play, I was still kind of wary, and also just didn't really know the direction they were gonna take it, right? Like, we knew, okay, it's gonna be different weapons, we knew it's gonna be more exploration, bigger open world, obviously, upped on the graphics and everything like that, but I didn't really know exactly, what they had in mind for this game, like what was their goal, what they were trying to do with it. But, after playing it, I absolutely love it. It's surpassed Ghost of Tsushima for me. And if anybody knows me, knows that I absolutely adore Ghost of Tsushima. It was like one of my favorite games of last generation. I have like over 300 hours in it, in just like the campaign,
Yeah, you
because
beat it
I've
more than anybody
replayed
else
it.
I know. So,
I just replayed the game so much, and I plan to do the same thing with Yote, because I absolutely love it. I'm gonna be playing it again, um, like with the Japanese dub and everything like that, and black and white and all that, the Hirosaka mode. So it's just I just need that new game plus. So
I
I need
feel
Sucker Punch
that.
to hurry up on that.
She
I
said, she
just need
said,
Sucker
"Look,
Punch
I
to
want to
hurry up
play it
on that,
again, but I'm
so
not
I can
I'm
play
not
it
starting
again.
from the bottom."
Yeah, because that's how I play Tsushima, with all my gear, all my perks and everything, just starting the game over.
Okay.
So that's how I want to play it. And I hope they also do a DLC. They said it's all dependent on the fans.
Mm,
And as a fan, I would like that.
okay.
But yeah, I really don't know where they're gonna go with the series. Obviously, they're trying to do an anthology kind of thing, where it's, different stories, that basically take the ghost mantle, and, the story around it. Um, but yeah, whether they do another Ghost or they move on to a new IP, I don't care. Like, I've always said I'm good with like 2 iterations of an IP, and then if the studio decides that they want to move on, that's completely fine with me. I don't like, hindering creativity because, oh, I like a game, so you should make it forever because I want it. Like,
Yeah.
nah, nah, nah. Because there's so many great new IPs that come from studios that, obviously would have never been a thing if everybody just wanted them to make one game forever. So I'm all for them wanting to move on. I just hopefully they don't move back. That there's the rumor about them with the Sly Cooper thing, and I'm just like, oh my God, please don't. Just
Yeah,
if you
absolutely
want to
not.
really do Sly Cooper, give it to like another studio or something. Give it to like a second party studio. Let them do it. Like I just feel like nobody's gonna support that game. It's gonna do worse than Astrobot, and then everybody's gonna be mad when they're like, oh, Sucker Punch had to do layoffs or some shit because they didn't really get support for Sly Cooper. And I'm just like, that's not what I want.
Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely do not
So
want
just
that.
give Sly Cooper to somebody else. Let somebody else do it. Make it like a little mini project, and then that's perfectly fine. But it's especially considering Sucker Punch said they're like a one game team. They don't want to, you know, separate into two different studios working on multiple games. They just like to focus on one game, which is perfectly fine. That's perfectly reasonable. If that's how they work, then that's how they work. So I just don't want them to go back. Like I'm not a fan of any studio just going back and doing old stuff. Like just move on. It had its time. It's time to move on. But back to
Yeah,
Yote.
I
Yote
was
was
gonna say
fantastic.
I think we've seen what happens when certain studios keep doing the same game,
Yeah.
and it hasn't worked out for almost any of them. So yeah,
Unless you're like,
You're getting
you're
ahead
like
of yourself,
Nintendo.
Nate.
unless you're Mario.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's say you're Nintendo with Mario. Like, but the thing with Mario is it's like constantly is different iterations of it. There's got RPGs, it's got
Exactly.
platformers, it's got racers. Like, it's not just the same Mario forever, right? It's different Mario's, 3D Mario, 2D Mario. You know what I'm saying? So, at least with Mario, there's evolution to it. But again, Yote was fantastic. I love Atsu. I think she was a great protagonist. She's definitely a lot more well-rounded than Jin. But I mean, obviously that's on purpose. Jin was the stoic samurai, so he was the guy who kept his feelings in, for the protection of his people and things like that. So it made sense that he was written that way. But I really love Atsu's, going straight into violence. Like, how Jin, he felt some type of way about not fighting honorably. It was a whole process to get him to finally accept the ghost mantle and realize that the only way to beat the enemy is to fight dirty like them, right? You got to fight fire with fire because they don't fight honorably, so you can't either, right? So but then with Atsu, she didn't really give a fuck. She was like,
She
she
did
was
not
like,
care.
I'm just straight into the violence. I don't care. I'm not a she, and that's the thing about gamers, this whole situation with Atsu. She's not a samurai. Well, she's not. No one ever says she was a samurai. And
Yeah,
she
she's
herself
definitely not, and she says it.
is not a samurai. She's not, she says she's not a samurai. She says she doesn't like samurai. She has a whole background for reasons that she doesn't like samurai, which is explained. And that, it's explained how she learned how to fight. She basically joined like
Essentially
the
the
peasants
militia.
army.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like the peasants army, and she basically said anybody that would teach her, she would try to learn from them, right? She said multiple, like with one of the gurus that she was learning from, they were asking her how she learned how to fight, and she was just like, most people didn't want to teach me, and he was like, was that because of your attitude or because you're a woman? She was like, well, both.
Yeah.
and she was just like, I just learned to fight for whoever would teach me, and then I
So
would
she got it
I
out the
would.
mud.
Yeah, she basically got it out the mud. She essentially would, and then like when people wouldn't teach her, she would just copy what they did. She would like study from a distance. So it's like it makes sense to her character and her story, the reason she fights the way she does and why she's so brutal and why she doesn't care. Like she's on a mission, right? She's on a mission to get rid of the Yote Six for what they did to her family. And she doesn't care who's in the way. Like she's just like, this is my mission. And she's determined, like, after they are dead, I am dead. That like my only purpose in life is to just get vengeance for my family, right? And then the story, everything like that happens. I'm not going to spoil it, anything like that. But I just really love her as a character because even as brutal as she is, she's still very caring, and she's actually very funny, like hilarious. In fact, she's got a great sense of humor, and she's not too well, she has her selfish moments, but she does have those moments where she's she's willing to help others even at the even if it hinders her and her mission. So yeah, I really think Sucker Punch did a fantastic job with this. I never got that open world fatigue with the game that I usually get with open worlds, where I'm like, okay, I'm like 70% done and I'm just ready to wrap this shit up. right? like that I got, for example, with Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like, and I really enjoyed Assassin's Creed Shadows, but by the time I got near the end, I was just ready for it to be done because I couldn't. It's gotten to the when it comes to Ubisoft, the way they kind of clog the story up with like all these different enemies and all these different factions. It's hard to tell exactly who you need to kill in order to get to the end because there's just so much filler that it's hard to see where the actual main story, what you have to do for the main story for to get it to end. But I still enjoyed Assassin's Creed. Like I gave like a solid 8. But I think the open world design of Yote was just significantly better. It flowed better. I was consistently going off of the main mission, following the bird, doing side stuff like, okay, I gotta do this bounty. Oh, wait, there's a hot spring over here. Oh, wait, I hear a wolf calling. Let me go ahead and do that really quick first. Oh, wait, there's some random stranger who needs my help. Let me help them. Like I just consistently was getting distracted, but in the best of ways. Like, it just reminded me so much of Red Dead 2, which is another open world game that I really love. That it seems they kind of copied that kind of Rockstar design of kind of letting the world take you, essentially. And I really love that. I hope they incorporate that with whatever their next project is. It was done very well. So anyway, yeah, Gote Ghost of Yote is definitely my number 3 game this year. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw it up there for the nominations, but with it being so many great games this year, it wouldn't upset me if it wasn't. Like I'm never really upset if a game that I like isn't up there because to me, if I
It
had a
doesn't
great
change
game
your
and I
personal
enjoyed
pick.
I don't really care. Like I like watching the game of the years just for like to see, for the fun of it, just to see who's up there, see who wins. But at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me because many of my game of the years personally have not been nominated, and it is what it is. But yeah, let me stop rambling because I got a lot of other games that I've played. I also played and completed Little Nightmares 3 with a Nate. It was a very, very fun game. We had a good time, a lot of Little Nightmare-esque puzzles. It's if you like Little Nightmares 1 and 2, you'll like 3, right? It's the same flow, same design. Same thing just with now you can have, someone to play with. You can play co-op. It wasn't too scary. It did have its little jump scares and it's like little moments of like, oh shit. like, but it wasn't it didn't have as creepy as a vibe for me as 1 or 2. And maybe that's because I was playing with someone, so it wasn't as scary.
I mean, I
But
think it definitely it did more, instead of being scary, it was more like this world is crazy. Like, was the
yeah,
whole time that
crazy
we
and a
got,
little
yeah.
creepy.
Yeah, and a little
I
creepy,
think
yeah.
I think Reanimal is gonna be the more scary game from
Oh,
that,
yeah,
from
Reanimal looks
this. Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the
and that's
animal
also co-op.
looking absolutely
So
scary.
yeah, I think that'll be the more scarier of the 2. And that actually comes from that studio, so I think that'll be a little bit more scary. But yeah, I gave it like a 7 out of 10. Like I had a good time, and if you playing with I think it's definitely better if you play with someone because again, co-op games are always fun to play with a friend. So I think this is a good game to play with a friend. I also beat in Platinum Cocoon. Really good indie game. Not really surprising. It's made up of a lot of the teams of the people who made Inside, which was another fantastic indie, one of my favorites of all time. But this is a little different, as Inside was more of like a kind of, a side-scrolling, creepy kind of isometric kind of little vibe that had going on. This one's more of a puzzle based. It's like essentially like all puzzles, but the puzzles are very well done. They're very intricate and they had me thinking. Like the puzzles, at first they were pretty easy, but towards the end of the game, I was just like, oh shit, like how, what, like it had me thinking for a good 10 to 15 minutes trying to figure out. And then when I had my aha moment, it was very cathartic. I was, oh, that's okay. Got you. But it was a really good game. It's really short. I think it only took me like 4 or 5 hours for this one. But I see why it had a lot of the praise that it did. Really, really intricate, nice puzzle game, Cocoon.
Yeah, people said it.
I've
I
also
heard
been,
nothing but it being amazing. So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it was really good. I like it was like worlds within worlds type of design. Like you basically carry a world on your back and it's like marble
yeah.
and you can jump into it. and then take other marbles that you jump into. Like it's really cool the way they designed this
I mean,
game.
it sounds cool. Like the way what you just explained is more than anyone has ever explained what that game is. So
Yeah.
that sounds more intriguing than just people arbitrarily saying it's good. I was curious what you would think about it because you are
Yeah.
the super indie appreciator. So I was curious what you
Yeah,
think.
that's
So
what they call me.
But okay.
I also recently me and Nate, Fox, and shout out to Will. He joined us. We played Power Wash Simulator 2 for a little bit. We played it
did.
for a couple hours. That it was really good. Power Wash Simulator 1, one of my favorite indie games of the previous years. A really kind of relaxing, you just kind of want to vibe kind of game, something where you could just put a podcast or a YouTube video on the background and just like chill. It's that type of game. So we played 2. Unfortunately, we ran into a few bugs with this game, but I mean, it's to be expected. It's the beginning of the game, and they as far as playing with multiple people, I assume like with them trying to do like the cross progression, making sure everybody gets trophies and making sure everybody gets all of the like I said, progression, that it causes some issue. So all of us 4 trying to play, like sometimes the server would shut down, like it would kick the host and then we'd all get kicked out, or sometimes we would see something on our screen that's not on another player's screen, or like it just had like a lot of issues. I don't know, if obviously they're gonna fix it, but I just don't know how long it's gonna take.
Yeah,
Because
hopefully not too long.
Will left. Yeah, because Will left early when we were playing, and then it was just the 3 of us, and it seemed to work better with
Yeah,
just 3.
it was
I
pretty
think,
good then.
yeah, it was.
So you're saying it's Will's fault?
No. It's
it's absolutely Will's fault.
But the 4, it seems something about the 4th person seems to have
it seemed
some
to
sort
like
of trouble.
overload it or something.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
like 3, it was fine. Even because then what happened is what we noticed with 4 of us, the person who was the host, their percentage of completion for the power wash was like 3 minutes ahead of everybody else. But then when there was just 3 of us, it all of a sudden it lined up
Synced.
perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
everything was synced. So I don't know. Maybe I don't think maybe 4 just causes some kind of commotion with it. It's too much. I'm sure they're gonna fix it, but yeah,
Yeah.
it acted a little weird. And I'm trying to figure out how. Like I said, the difference between 1 and 2 that at least I was excited about was the fact that in 1, whoever was hosting was the only person that could get trophies, was the only person that could really get the most amount of money, was the only person that could kind of upgrade. And the big thing for 2 was that, okay, we heard you guys' feedback. Everybody who's in the game will get trophies. It won't just be the host. It'll, everybody gets progress, everybody gets money, things like that. But when I was playing with everybody with everybody on Power Wash Simulator 2 the other night, and first I think it was Nate that was hosting, it just seemed like I wasn't really getting any money. I wasn't really getting any trophies. I wasn't really getting much progress. I couldn't buy new outfits and new power wash tools and things like that. So I'm just trying to figure out where or how exactly that's supposed to happen. I may need to look it up later and see what's going on with that. But yeah, it doesn't really seem like it's working. So yeah, it's to be determined. Like again, I played Power Wash Simulator 1 during its later stages, like after like a year or 2 it was out. So like all the kinks were out and it was working great, and there was a bunch of content, bunch of DLC. So when I was playing it, it was at 100%, right? So I'm playing it now and it's day 1 with 2. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But I've also been playing As Dusk Falls. It recently came on PS Plus this month. It was a Xbox exclusive, like I think back in like 2022 or something, and then it came to PlayStation 23 or 24. And I've been meaning to pick it up, but I just been playing other stuff, and then it dropped on PS Plus, and I said, why not? It's pretty good so far. Can't like it's that Telltale style game where you pick the narrative, you pick your narrative option, and it affects your story, basically the path that you go on and things like that. I'm enjoying it so far. I like the story. It's got essentially 2 different, I guess, storylines as of right now. I'm only on chapter 2. I think there'll be more storylines, like more characters that I control in this game, but so far it's just kind of like 2 different storylines. One being you're this husband who is moving with his family to going across the country, I guess, to a new state, and funny enough, they stop in Arizona, of all places,
Right.
and yeah, so essentially they get held up by gunpoint by this other family looking to rob the sheriff of this town. Um, and basically they're held hostage, and you got to pick how you're going to get out of the situation and everything like that. And but then the story flips, and then you're controlling the villainous family that was holding the other family hostage, right? And you rob the sheriff, and you figure out, okay, there's something going on with the sheriff. Like, why does he have like $50,000 cash in the safe? Like, this is a small
Uh-oh.
town in Arizona. There's no way he's making this much money. Like, there's some like dirty secrets going on with the sheriff that there's a reason that he has all this money. I don't know what it is yet. Like I said, I'm only on chapter 2, but I'm like, there's no way he just has this cash from his job, right? It's like in the way he's handling the hostage situation, like he doesn't care about the hostages' lives, like the family that I'm controlling. He seems to he just wants what was in the safe. Like, he doesn't care. Like he like I like the family that's being held hostage. One of the members was taken outside by the bad guys, and they were kind of held at gunpoint, and they were like, yo, you need to give us a helicopter so we can get out of here. And the sheriff was just like pointing he had one of his fellow policemen pointing a sniper at the bad guy, like, and it looked like the sniper was not a professional sniper. Like, it looked like he was gonna hit the good guy. And as soon as
This sounds
the good guy
crazy.
warned the bad guy, like, oh my god, sniper, and they both got down, everybody just started firing. I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna hit you're gonna hit the hostage, bro. He didn't care. He was just like, get him.
Oh, that's
Like,
crazy.
that's why I'm like, okay, there's something going on with the sheriff. Like he slipped because this is like in, like, I guess like the 90s or something taking place, I think. So he slipped like a beeper into the food, because in the hostage negotiation they always ask for like pizza and shit, right? So he slipped a beeper into it when he gave it to the hostage and said, keep this in your pocket, I'm gonna try to communicate with you, right? And on the beeper, he's just like consistently asking questions like, are you going to help me out? I need you to help me out with this situation. Like, in order to get your family out, you're going to need to do this and that. I'm like, wait, hold up. I am the victim here, sir. Why are you treating me hostile right now? I'm just trying to get my family out of this situation. And he's just all breathing down my neck talking about, you need to get the money in that little black book I had in my safe, or nobody's getting out. I'm like, huh?
Oh,
Okay, this is
nobody
crazy.
getting out.
I was just like, what? So yeah, the story in this is it looks surface level at first, but it's gone deep, and I'm just trying to figure out what the hell is going on in the situation. But yeah, I'm intrigued with the story as Dusk Falls so far. But yeah, and the last one, I promised, the last game. I've been also playing Dispatch. I've been also playing Dispatch.
This is a sign of the times. This is a good
Oh
thing.
man, I'm so sorry. I am talking too much.
No, this
But
is perfect.
I've also been playing Dispatch. If anybody doesn't know, that's the game from Ad Hoc Studio. Those are a studio formed from the previous developers of the Telltale games. And also it's made up from people from Telltale, people from Ubisoft, and also people from was it Nighthawk Studio? Night something studio. I forgot the name of the studio, but it's the studio that made Oxenfree, another great indie game that I love. The Oxenfree game that was the game that was exclusively, I think the second one was exclusively on Netflix or something. The Netflix games. But yeah. So this is another Telltale light game. I'm apparently in the mood for those right now. Fantastic game. It's star-studded cast. The star of it, the protagonist is played by Aaron Paul, which is the star of Breaking Bad, the guy who plays Jesse. It's got
and the
like
Need for Speed movie.
yeah, and the Need for Speed movie. But yeah, also Laura Bailey is in this, and a lot of content creators like Jacksepticeye is in this. Alana Pierce is in this. Another couple other content creators, I can't really remember their name, but it's got a lot of content creators in it, but they're actually doing pretty good, and so I can't complain about them being in here. But anyway, so you're playing as a hero named Robert Robertson, and essentially it's like you're I think y'all like this hero. His name is Mecha Man because his power is essentially like Iron Man, like he's in a mech suit, right? And that's his hero ability, that he's in this mech suit and he does hero things, right? Um, but when it comes to Mecha Man is essentially like a mantle, like it's passed down through the family. Like the first Mecha Man was our grandfather, Robert Robertson, and then it was passed down to our father, Robert Robertson Jr. And then we have it, Robert Robertson the third. So it's like a mantle being passed down two generations, and like nobody obviously knows the secret identity of who Mecha Man is. It's just, the background that we know. Um, Essentially, the game kind of starts off with us trying to get vengeance on the person who killed our father, right, Robert Robertson Jr. And essentially, through the battle happens, and our mech suit is essentially destroyed. Trying to do this, we don't get our vengeance. The bad guy gets away, and our mech suit is destroyed. And so our protagonist is essentially like doesn't know exactly what he's going to do now, right? Because his whole identity, his whole life has been leading up to be this hero, right? That's what the family does. And so now he's, at that crisis in his life where he doesn't really know what to do. And so another hero comes up to him with the proposition of working for the Dispatch, which is the name of the game, right? Where you essentially work for the dispatch in charge of heroes, right? The people who give out the assignments and tell heroes to go here, there, and kind of give them the relay and, give them the information, help them out in the situations over the phone, right? So he takes on the job. They said, we'll fix your suit, we'll help you become Mecha Man again if you just, work for us. So he takes on the job, and
This sounds like
he's
a setup for the
essentially
record. Look.
No, probably the way I'm describing it sounds like a setup, but it doesn't seem that way, at least to me. But maybe it is. Who knows? But essentially, he takes on the job, and they give him like the Z team, which is like obviously the lowest rung team to handle, and the Z team is made up of rehabilitated villains, super villains, right? Villains that committed crimes, did all that stuff, and now their rehabilitation is being, taken their what they've done and their bad powers and using it for good, essentially. So now they're going to be heroes that are put out to the city to help people, which honestly sounds like a terrible idea to me personally, but I was just like, okay, cool. So we're in charge of the Z team, and basically, and it's kind of cool because we get a little bit more gameplay than we did in or other Telltale games, where it's just really just about the narrative choices. And this one, there's a little bit of gameplay as far as not actiony, but more like strategy, where you have to send out the correct heroes for the correct situations. So there's stats for every hero. It's like five. There's like 5 stats in total, like charisma, intelligence, strength, defense, and mobility, speed. And basically, you have to send out the right hero for the right assignment, right? So if there's anything from getting a cat from a tree to you need to do a speech at City Hall, right? And for something like City Hall, you would obviously need somebody who's high in charisma and probably intelligence to come there and give a speech about how great the city is and how heroes are helping and blah blah blah, right? So you have to pick the correct heroes for the correct assignments, and it'll basically grade it by how well you matched the hero type with the assignment. And then you basically do that kind of little mini game for like 30 minutes. You'll be given a bunch of different dispatches all at one time. So you only have 6 heroes. So you have to and the assignments will come at you quick. So you have to make sure you're matching it correctly so that, the other assignments will be matched correctly to a hero. And every hero you send out, obviously they'll be busy, so you can't use them. And then when they come back, they have to rest for like 30 seconds before you can send them back out. So there's a little strategy involved, and there's like trophies involved if you like match everything perfectly and you have like a great, day at work where there were no issues, no fails, right? Where you sent somebody out and they weren't able to complete it because their stats didn't match what was required for the job, right? So you'll get a fail if it
tell us the
doesn't.
truth. Have you had all good days at work so far?
So far, well, like I said, there's only 2 episodes, so they're doing it
Okay.
weekly, right? In episode 1, I didn't, it was just the introduction. I didn't really get the job. So episode 2
Yeah.
was where my first day on the job, and I only did 1 day, right?
Okay.
I out of like the 12 dispatches I got, I think it was, I missed 2. I mismatched 2, but it was because like I had 4 heroes out, and the person I needed like another charisma person, but the only 2 I had didn't have charisma. So I was like, fuck it, I gotta send somebody out there, right? So, but yeah, those 2 failed. So it made sense. So I have to make sure to time everything correctly so that my heroes match the right job. But so far, like the narrative and the dialogue, like the way it's written, like the story is really well written. Aaron Paul does a great job, because not all actors can be good voice actors, but he does a fantastic job with his character, and I think his personality matches really well with Robert Robertson, his kind of sarcastic, like charisma that he has. And he's really likable, right? You really root for him and want him to kind of get back into the mantle of Mecha Man, because he seems to really like being a hero. Like he likes helping people, and he doesn't want to let his family's legacy down, even though he says, he didn't really know his father that well. I'm guessing because his father was out in the streets being a hero all the time, 24/7. So he didn't really have a relationship with his father, but he feels obligated to not be the Robert Robertson to ruin the family legacy of Mega Man, right? But yeah, I played both episodes. It took about 2 or 3 hours, and I can't wait for next week because I'm raring to see what happens next. And all of the 6 villains that I'm in charge of, they're absolutely hilarious. They're assholes, but they're funny. They really don't want to listen to me, obviously, because I hear I'm just this new guy that's coming in, and they're obviously rehabilitated villains who don't really give a fuck. So me trying to control them is you know they talk a lot of shit. Like the first day I was in and I started talking to them, they were just like, who the fuck is this guy? Like who the hell is he talking to right now? They were just kind of like joking on me, just how you would if like a new person came into your group and just started acting like they were in charge or whatever. Like they just started roasting the shit out of me, and it was hilarious. Like it was like 3 minutes of just straight roasting me, and I couldn't stop laughing because it was so funny. But yeah, the game is really good. I hope this is supported well, because I don't want what happened to Telltale Games, which is basically got dismantled and then came back, and now they're trying to make Wolf Among Us 2, which I don't think is happening because we haven't heard anything from it since 2022, which is a shame because I love that game.
Yeah.
But I just want this game supported so Ad Hoc can make more games like this. So I need everybody to go out. It's only like $23 or whatever or 30. I can't remember how much this was.
It's 30.
It's less than,
and then it's 40 for the.
yeah, it's 30.
It's 40 for the deluxe.
40 for the deluxe, but that includes like digital comic books. So if you don't want that, that's fine. 30 for the game, and you get all the seasons and everything like that. So it's not expensive whatsoever. Support it. It's hilarious. It's a fun game. All of the characters, the voice actors do their thing. Like they're all great. Written very well. So please go support Dispatch. It's only on PS5 and PC. So if you have those two, that's where it's at. It's not on Xbox or
Wait,
Switch.
it's not on Xbox? What?
No. It'll probably come later at some time, but they're a small studio, so I'm sure they only have a budget for so much. So right now it's only on PS5 and PC. So if you have those platforms, please go out and get it. I promise you will not be disappointed, especially if you like Telltale games. This one fits in perfectly with their their reputation and how well written those are. So yeah, please go play this game.
Yeah,
That's all.
agreed.
Sorry.
I think it looks like a really good
That's
game.
all?
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
but,
that's it.
But yeah, no, a lot of good games being played. Congrats on all the platinums, because you're not just playing games, but you're completing games, which is something definitely some people in the community need to start doing. Um, but yeah, a lot of great games. Um, Omar, how are you, sir? And what have you been playing?
Okay, so I'm fine. Now, before Morgan get onto me, I am not the only one that played this game. Christoph played it as well. It's called Pipistrello.
You can't even say the name, Jesus.
Pipistrello as a curse yo-yo.
I mean, none
I
of us
have
know
no
what
idea
that.
what you just
Yeah,
said.
none of us know what that is.
Yeah,
So you're
I
safe.
don't. Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Basically, you're a creature with a yo-yo for a weapon, and you use it also to solve puzzles. Simplistic puzzles, but they get gradually harder, more difficult. And before you reach a boss fight, they give you an upgrade that uh, what do we call it? Kind of help you discover new areas and stuff like that. I really enjoyed it. There's a demo of it on PlayStation. Yeah, that and another one is basically I play the Keeper, which not gonna lie, my first experience, I was literally getting. I came to 15 frames, so I had to ask Nate to see if it's from my PC or the game. Basically two things. My PC, I needed to do some settings. This is why I don't fuck with PC like that. And number two is the game was absolutely not well optimized. But
But what?
the game is absolutely not well optimized. Like you're
Oh,
getting frame rate drops uh, a lot.
I,
It's not capped on 60 or
I did
30.
not have any issues with the game.
Yeah, no. Even after fixing it, I was still dropping frames.
Right. Well,
Oh, you're
yeah,
playing
So
on
but he
PC.
means on
Right.
PC though. Yeah, PC specifically.
Yeah.
where you played it? Oh
Uh,
yeah, you have an Xbox.
yeah,
Yeah.
Xbox is the best box.
Hell yeah.
So outside of these two, I started a game called Mage Guns. Basically, it's a game that came to PlayStation Plus Premium not too long ago. Wizard with a
I
gun.
was gonna say that
It
is way different, sir.
Yeah, my bad. Um, basically, I enjoyed the concept. It's addictive because it's what roguelike. It tricks you into not thinking it's roguelike, but it's absolutely roguelike. And your gameplay is literally just 5 minutes. Afterward, your entire world breaks down and you need to leave ASAP. It's addictive, but I'm planning to drop it because I actually wanted to play Ninja Gaiden and then what you call it, a journey to this other planet. But both of them didn't work on my PC. This is why I tell you, Nate, I'm Morgan every single time. I hate PC. But yeah, that's about it from my end.
You hate PC, but you're glad you have one because it has gotten you to play a lot of
Yeah,
games that you wouldn't have been
yeah.
able to play. So
It's a love hate
Exactly.
relationship. You know it is.
yeah, but
True
yeah,
love hate relationship
yeah.
exists.
It's Omar is definitely the experiment where I warn people about the issues that can arise uh,
So,
about PC gaming.
Especially
oh,
with my
Nah, PC is
fucking
easy.
luck. Especially with my fucking luck. I had to drop Keeper because I was literally getting 15 frames. And
I
then
mean,
I
to be
realized
fair,
aw.
I
to
needed
be
to fix
fair,
level.
I fixed that. So
Yeah, you
so
fixed that. You
so
fixed
Oh,
so
that. But,
so let's be
but
accurate
oh,
Yeah,
I
here.
but
did
say it's not luck. It's just
I
you
did
just don't know how
drop
to
it.
tune your PC properly, Omar.
Yeah,
No, I
I
don't because I don't fuck with PC like that.
I know. I'm just saying it's not luck. It's just you just don't know.
yeah,
You just don't
I
know how
had
to
to
tune your.
change. I had to change it.
Yeah.
So some of this, I'm gonna get this clear because PC is definitely at fault for a bunch of crap, but it is not in this case. So Omar was using the wrong settings completely, and didn't understand how to turn on DLSS properly. So that was one issue. And then once I got the game fixed and it was running above 60, we
Yeah, it was
realized,
running 70, but
yeah,
it was still the game.
no, the problem is that Omar used a dollar store HDMI cable for his computer. And
Fucking
so
Omar, man.
even though he has an OLED TV capable of 120 hertz, it goes black screen when he turns on the 120 because the HDMI cable he has connected to his PC is so low grade that it can't actually support it because it's not HDMI 2.1. So
Well,
just to be clear about why
is a
Omar had to
cheap
stop.
Bastard, man.
Real talk.
He's
Real
a
talk.
cheap bastard. Like, to go get the cheapest little plastic ass HDMI for his fucking PC. He got a $1,200 PC and get a $2 HDMI cord. Oh my, what the hell is wrong with you, man?
I have no idea. It would make a difference.
Oh my god.
This is why I tell people I am not a tech savvy person like that. Like
Jesus.
this solution would have been given to me by my brother, but he had been busy, so Innate took the helm with this one.
Yeah, so
Oh
to be
man, way
clear,
to shame your brother.
yeah, to
Because
be
my
clear,
brother is
Keeper
also
is in
was
It's
IT.
like,
IT.
even with PlayStation, even with PS5, the HDMI cord is high grade. You need a HDMI 2.1 cord
Yeah,
to
but
play.
see,
You
in
know,
Omar's case, they gave him one, so that's the only reason he didn't mess that up.
that's what I'm saying. So even with PS5, you need a high grade, like, because if you switched out the HDMI cord with the PS5, it wouldn't work properly. Like, you wouldn't be able to get certain frame rates.
Exactly, and like Thrifty said, in general, buying any sort of tech from the dollar store is a bad idea.
Like, Omar knows this
Like,
because
I
he's
used
been in the
to
chat
live.
multiple times complaining about cheap shit that he's bought. Like,
I used to live on from the dollar store.
Hey, look, no longer, because you realize that the high quality cable wasn't even that expensive.
Yeah.
So it's like you could have saved yourself the trouble.
It was kind of expensive, but it was worth it when I
It
bought
was like
'cause the other one
$9, wasn't it?
wasn't
you
worth
said it's
it.
kind of expensive, $9.
Hold on, wasn't it
Omar.
$9?
No. I'm talking about the different cables that I bought.
Oh,
The HDMI
okay.
I need to buy tomorrow, Monday.
Yeah, I was like, the HDMI cable is not that expensive, but
It used to be like
3
when it
times
first
the
came out, like
price,
the shit
so
was like
that's
$50.
why. But it's gonna be worth it because I'm not gonna have
yeah,
that
but what is
fucking
the actual
black
price?
screen. Yeah, no, I literally said it's around €12. So the normal one is €3 that I bought.
Yeah, but that's not expensive though. That's just a different price. It's not expensive though. Expensive would be like, oh, I had to pay $60 for an HDMI
Omar said, "Do you know
cable.
how much corn I could buy with that?
But
You know how much corn I could get with €12? Okay."
No, because again, I'm used to the HDMI cable normal, and
So
it wouldn't give me any issue. But
so
because of the
what
TV,
we've learned is that technically it did give you issues because when I had you try it 120 before, I didn't know that's what you used. So until we got to the keeper, I didn't realize that's what was causing the issue. And then we found
what
the
we've
issue.
learned, I need to ask Innate before doing anything. Apparently,
He ain't learned nothing because I guarantee you, before this year's up, he gonna buy something else cheap and then start complaining about it, being like, "Guys, I don't understand why this isn't working."
I'm not buying that. What you call it? And
yeah, we'll see. We'll see, Omar. We'll see if you actually learned your lesson.
Yeah. So lessons learned. People don't buy any tech from the dollar store. You know, especially nowadays with the way literally everything uses HDMI 2.1 that we game on at this point, whether you're on Xbox, whether you are on the Switch 2, or your PS5. So yeah, don't do that. But yeah, as for myself, God, like you guys, like everybody else in the chat, man, like you guys said, and after hearing Morgan, like everybody's playing so much fire. You know, shout out to Weeb for remaining disciplined, playing one game. You are strong, my brother. You are strong.
I respect it because I can't do it.
I can't do it.
Well, okay. Technically, I did finish Keeper after the podcast, so I have
You
to
did?
play 2 games.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So two.
Oh,
You still fairly
what was your
disciplined.
rating?
Keeper is
Out of
short.
10
It's
for
a short
Keeper.
game.
I think a 7, something like that.
Okay. All right.
I mean, it was fine. It's fine. It's just it's really short, and
Mhm.
I guess it gets more fun though later on. I do have to say, like there's more
Oh, okay.
variation.
I can
Yeah.
wait for that part because what I played is a little bit on the board.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. They definitely.
It's
I
cool.
wish they included a switcher in my case though. For the.
Oh, you played it too?
Yeah, I played it too.
Oh wow. They got a Nate out here playing indie. Oh Jesus. Okay.
I actually played.
I'm proud of you.
I actually played 2 indies.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, we're doing
Ooh,
crazy.
okay.
We're getting real crazy this week.
Oh man.
I got a question. What about your revenge for your parents?
What are you talking about?
The real
It
questions.
was not that it existed.
I don't
You talking
know.
about Ghost?
Oh yeah, I mean that's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, which means he
basically
just
have a
know
problem.
that I'm gonna translate that.
You have the birth problem, but in real life with games.
I'm gonna
now.
translate that for you. That means I have no plans to finish that this month, and probably not
I
next
have the
month. But I'll get
feeling,
back
have
to
the
it when I do.
feeling.
Yeah.
Okay.
I already know.
To answer that question, I was playing Ghost before we started the podcast. So.
Oh.
So
Okay.
yeah. So I
He didn't do
didn't.
shit. He was in there for 5 minutes. Take a screenshot. He went to sleep.
I did not actually stop saying that was actually something I said earlier. I was like, I'm done taking screenshots because I don't got no time for this. I need to
Man.
complete
lying
this
ass.
game. So yeah, no, I've been pushing. But even though I tried to set that mandate, I still took like 3 because I got this beautiful area and I was like,
Exactly.
damn it.
I was like, all right.
This dude.
Hey, look, man, it was cherry
told you.
blossoms, bro. What you want me to do? Like, I couldn't
It's
help
true.
it.
Thrifty said it. Thrifty's accurate. He said,
How
and Nate
was
hates
it?
Ghost.
Finish
Confirmed.
the game and then make it take a picture.
Hey, man, I was trying, bro. I had, it was in the moment, you know. So yeah, so I just grabbed it real quick and then I skated. Like I didn't do all
Oh.
the edit the photo and change the vignette and I didn't do all that. I just
Why does it feel like if we look at your gameplay time versus the amount of picture and video you have collected on Go, we're gonna see a triple amount of data on the picture and
there's a
gameplay.
lot of pictures.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
So basically, you've been a
I've been taking
photograph way more than you've been gaming.
Yeah, I've
Makes
been
sense.
taking a little too many. But to be fair, I only got 2 more Yote 6 to kill. So I mean, it's not like I haven't been killing them. Everybody was stunting for like 2 weeks straight with 1 stripe. So you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not there. Like I didn't kill plenty of them. So yeah, I'm still playing that. I'm still getting through it. Like I said, I'm about to like just kind of push though. I did get the trophy for the 30 shrines or whatever. So Morgan was like really right about that. You get that like way early, like way before you're even done getting all your slots filled. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, I was playing that. But yeah, like I said, I did play Keeper as well. But like I said, it doesn't. This is a PC thing specifically, which again, if Microsoft is going to be day one on PC, like I just need these things, right? So in PC games, there is something under the display that shows you the monitor you're playing on, and because the game does not support ultra wide, I needed to move it to my my TV, and then when I moved it over, because it had started on my ultra wide monitor, it couldn't detect the resolution of my TV. So like even though the resolution should be 4K now, it couldn't go to that because my monitor is 3440 by 1440. So it was like having this weird thing where it's stuck on trying to keep the aspect ratio like it's on my ultra wide, even though it's not, and I moved it. So yeah, something again, if you're gonna be day one on PC, you gotta do it right. Like you need certain things, or at the very least, you need to give me a way to change the aspect ratio, because that's the easy way to do it. Just give me a way to change the aspect ratio, which is also missing. But yeah, like I said, Keeper was cool. It got a lot better after the wobble section. I mean, I'm not gonna ruin that, but yeah, the controls were a bit crazy at first, but it's meant to be that way. But yeah, it was cool. Like I said, I just hadn't finished it because I was having that issue, so I was trying to find a way to get it to launch specifically on my TV instead, without having to do something really drastic. So yeah, that was honestly, I probably would have finished it if it wasn't for that, because I know it's not that long. But I know people were getting like the 100% for it, like by lunchtime, like when it released. Like, so I know it's not that long. But it was cool. Like, I don't hate it or anything. Like, it was cool. But I'll see what I think by the time I finish it. And then I also played Ball X Pit, or Ball Pit, you know, because you're not supposed to say the X, but whatever. I hate that concept, for the record. It is Hunter X Hunter, not Hunter Hunter. So I don't really care. Stop putting it there if I'm not supposed to say it, damn it. So yeah, I will fight people on that all day. I hate that concept.
Man.
Yeah, we could call it Hunter Hunter. It's Hunter X Hunter.
Yeah, I was like, I will call it that till I die. So, but yeah, I did try Ball X Pit, which was cool.
That's why you like the worst version of that anime.
Yeah. But yeah, no, yeah, the game was interesting. Actually, Potato is in the chat, which was funny because he had asked me what it was like, and we just got in Discord, and I just showed him because I was like, I can't really explain it in chat because it's like you just got to see it to understand. Like I was like, how do I say it's like an infinite pinball machine with, you know, Vampire Survivor mechanics, which also has town building. Like it makes no sense when you say it, but when you play it, it makes sense. So yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that. That game is really cool. It does, the ramp up takes a while though, I will say, for you to really build up, being able to take out some of the harder stuff and the progress. So yeah, you definitely, like, I've seen some people like late game builds that have like crazy stuff, and I mean, you get really, really powerful. Again, a lot like akin to Vampire Survivor, where you can just, you know, I've crashed that game several times from the light show that I have put on. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, you can definitely get just as crazy in Ball X Pit. So yeah, good game. I mean, I'm not going crazy over it. I'm not going to recommend 400,000 people play it. But shout out to them. You know, they apparently sold like, I think 200,000 units already. And the game's only like $15 if you wanted to play it on, you know, if you wanted to play it on like PlayStation or something. I tried it on Game Pass while that's still working. I've had, my Game Pass was like good till November. And I had no idea what that game was. So I was like, oh, okay, it's on there. Yeah, I know. So I did try it there. But I'm actually glad I did try it there, because I actually realized I don't know. I'm not a fan. Like, as much as I like the game, I actually don't like playing the game with a controller. I feel like the aiming and stuff is like way too slow compared to like the way I was playing with my mouse and keyboard. So if I did, I'd probably just buy it on Steam, if I end up buying it, which I probably will.
You just played on PC Game Pass.
Yeah, right.
Play anywhere.
Yeah, play anywhere. You know, and I'm like, nah, I like to keep my games, damn it. But yeah, played that. And then yeah, like Morgan said, we all played Power Wash Simulator 2. And she already kind of explained that. But yeah, just as enjoyable as before. I'm really excited to get to some of the later power washers and stuff, because that was always like the crazy thing. I remember when we were playing the first one, we all got like the final power washer, and we were like, oh my god, this is amazing. So yeah,
just definitely. So you know, Nate was a non-believer of Power Wash Simulator. I had to essentially force him to play with me, and you know, while I was telling him to play it, you know, he copped the attitude with me. He was like, I don't understand why we're playing this. It's, you know, he was talking mad shit. But then when he started playing it, all of a sudden now, you know, oh, he understands. He loves it now. He was just as excited as me when Power Wash Simulator 2 launched. So, you know, like I said, people love to be non-believers before I introduce them to things. And then all of a sudden, you know, they see the light and they're like, oh, that's what's going on. I'm like, yes. See, don't fight it.
I want to ask a question about that for Innate. Do you enjoy the game because you're playing with her because it's a co-op thing, or just you guys talking, or the game is actually fun?
No, I mean, I've played Power Wash Simulator by myself, so yeah. No, it's just fun in general. It's funnier, you know, and more fun, obviously, with friends because, you know, you make progress faster, and it's just, you know, funny in general. You know, occasionally spraying each other, whatever, and just talking. But yeah, like Morgan was saying, like it's one of those games where you can listen to a podcast, you can listen to an audio book or whatever, and still like your efficiency doesn't drop in the game because like the gameplay loop is so simple and relaxing that you can literally just do anything else. So you know that it's a unique thing in that way, which I appreciate because a lot of games you can't do that.
Shout out to Thrifty. He said coffee talk for me. Hell, Morgan. That's right. Coffee Talk, man. And we need to get a date on Coffee Talk Tokyo because what's going on? They said it was supposed to release fall of 2025. It is fall. Okay. We're almost getting close to winter. Like I feel like the fact that we haven't got a release date means that they're going to push it back into 2026. But I just need something because the wait is killing me. So I need them to tell me something. But anyway.
Yeah, that's rough skis because releasing early next year at any time is not a good idea. Like,
bruh, like February through like May is like packed.
Hold on.
This has been a commercial break brought to you by Otter Player Podcast.
Okay. That one.
Man, he just dipped on us.
Okay.
So anyway,
sorry.
let's. Oh, okay.
I'm back. Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, I was about to do a dance routine. Okay.
Not a dance routine. Oh man, she said, "Let me show y'all this magic trick." that is a reference to a Netflix show currently. That is a terrible idea. If you understand, let me show you a magic trick. Then you have watched the show, and it is terrible. Don't show kids that magic trick. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna jump right into it. Like I said, I've still been playing other stuff, but like, you know, there's obviously, I do want to shout out this last one because I don't want to skip this one. Digimon Time Strangers, which is absolutely fucking phenomenal. And shout out to Bandai Namco and the team that did this game for understanding the assignment. Because I don't really care how much people like Pokemon, because I'm an OG Pokemon fan, and Digimon is beating the brakes off Pokemon ZA. I don't care what kind of nostalgia you think you got going or how much you are enjoying Pokemon. Digimon for the first time is 100% like the superior game. Like it's unequivocal. Like the game is a freaking amazing game. Someone who's a YouTuber that actually recommended it to, they finished it, did a review, and he was just shocked that it went from not on his radar to one of his favorite games that he played this entire year, which again, for a game to get that in a year that has been phenomenal is crazy. So yeah, shout out to them for just creating this amazing game, giving Digimon fans, you know, what we wanted, you know, Digimon in a fully realized world and all these different things. And it looks like even they have stated that, you know, it exceeded all expectations for the team. So we're potentially looking at DLC. Bandai Namco has put out a couple surveys. Like, so they're taking the success of this game really seriously and really understand that they kind of hit a stride. Also, the other thing that I do not recommend that you go back and play the old games. Like, if you are interested, cool, go do that. But I'm not going to do that. Like, I've seen a lot of people recommending, oh, if you like Time Strangers, go play all these other Digimon games. No, I'm not going to do that. Time Strangers is on a whole different planet compared to Cyber Sleuth, compared to Digimon Survive. Like, I can't believe people are even suggesting people play that game. Like, Jesus. So yeah, don't do that. I only recommend Digimon Time Strangers, but yeah, I've definitely seen that on the timeline, and I hate when people do that. Like, oh, the recent game is good, so here's all these other games you should play. And it's like, no, because those other games are not of the same caliber. Like, don't do that. Like, that's how you lose new fans, man. Um, but anyway, yeah, jumping straight into it. Obviously, the big elephant in the room, the thing that happened, the thing that Twitter lost their mind about yesterday, claiming, if the console war wasn't dead, it is now, and all the fun stuff, which is ironic because a bunch of people who have been saying the console war is dead for like 5 years or whatever were also tweeting that it was dead yesterday, after Halo was announced coming to PS5. The Halo campaign evolved, play on combat evolved, was announced. They showed it running in UE5. The game looks really good. Again, anybody who knows me, I'm friends with plenty of people that love Halo over the years. I personally have never been a fan of Halo. I have played all of them in some capacity, whether it's multiplayer, some of the campaign, whatever. But I've always, even as a sci-fi enjoyer myself, have always just found Halo unequivocally boring. So this doesn't change that for me, except it does look good. So there is that. But yeah, nothing changes for me. But yeah, an interesting time to be alive, to kind of see it on there. I do think Morgan was onto something. We were joking before the podcast that playing it just because it's kind of like the thing that should have never happened as like a joke is kind of more enticing than the actual idea of the game. So yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, I don't know. How does this announcement, work for you guys? Are you guys excited? Whatever. Morgan, how are you feeling about this as a former 360 owner, ma'am?
Are we just talking about the Halo?
Yeah, just the Halo stuff right now. Yeah, and then we'll
Okay.
run into it.
Yeah. Even on the 360, I really never play Halo, and I know that's kind of like hearsay. Like I know it's like, how dare you have a 360 and not touch the greatness that is Halo, but I didn't really care about Halo like that. For me, like as far as like first party Xbox IP that I play, it was more like Gears. And I'm not even the biggest Gears fan, but I enjoyed Gears a lot more than I did Halo. So yeah, Gears E-Day is something I'm excited about. But yeah, this
Yeah.
Halo announcement, I mean, we all knew it was coming, right? It's been in the rumor mill for a while, and everybody knew that the Halo Day, or the they're having the Halo fight tournament the other day.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
everybody knew it was going to pretty much be announced there, right? The rest of the big three, Forza and Gears, have already been announced for PlayStation. So everybody was just kind of waiting on Halo, and we pretty much knew it was going to be like a remake or a remaster of one of the older titles. And it's been confirmed that it's Combat Evolved, but without the multiplayer. So it's just the campaign, which is an interesting choice. Which leads me to believe that they're probably going to do like a separate multiplayer, maybe like a more of a free to play battle royale style multiplayer that will launch everywhere, or
We
maybe
have
they'll
definitely
just
heard of that. So yeah.
yeah, maybe that's kind of the plan that they're trying to do, trying to get that together to be this big, huge multiplayer event that maybe kind of surpasses what Halo was, right? They just want this thing to be everywhere for everyone to play, and be the next big thing in live service, I guess. That's just my opinion. That's just a guess. I don't really know what they're doing. But as far as the announcement goes, I knew it was coming today. Like I wasn't surprised, but seeing it though was just kind of surreal, And then when PlayStation tweeted it, Master Chief is coming to the PlayStation, I was just like, oh my god,
Like Hero said, the
this shit
Xbox shirt
is,
or the PlayStation shirt on
yeah,
top of that.
yeah, the Halo communications lead during the Halo event where they were announcing the fact that it was coming to PlayStation. He was wearing a PlayStation t-shirt while doing it. And honestly, I was just like I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to do the camaraderie, like, this is what's happening. This is the future. This is what we expect from Halo. This is where it's going. But I don't know. I just feel like it was kind of overkill. Like, I feel like you could rub fans the wrong way by doing that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just weird. I just think about like if like Neil Druckmann or Corey Barlog was wearing an Xbox t-shirt as they announced that The Last of Us is coming to Xbox. I would
Yeah.
just be like,
people
"All
about
right,
ready
bro."
to rock.
Okay. But I was just like, yeah, it's kind of like I get it. You're trying to show us the future of where Xbox direction is, which is a multi-platform future, right? And even they said that the future of Halo is now with PlayStation, right? Every Halo that releases from this point forward will also be releasing on PlayStation, which is a big deal within itself, right? I mean, this is the biggest marquee title that, maybe not anymore, but this
I mean,
is
he
the
was the
identity of
Xbox
Xbox.
mascot. Yeah. Like,
Yeah. There is no Xbox without Master Chief. There's no Master Chief without Xbox. Like they're synonymous, right? It's like Nintendo and Mario or PlayStation and Kratos. Like it's just those are the icons of the brand. So when you have the literal mascot of your platform now going to your rival's platform, um it's a big deal. I mean, it was like trending all day. It was a huge topic. Even people who aren't really in gaming, like Nate was pointing out in the chat, like just a bunch of celebrities were talking about it, like, oh shit, Master Chief's going to PlayStation. What timeline are we living in? Like
yeah.
everybody was just like, what the hell, um and then it's just, when asked about it, Matt Booty was on, talking about like, well, we don't really consider PlayStation our competition. Our competition is TikTok and movies. And I was just like, oh, okay, Matt. Like, I get what he's trying to say. I get he's trying to say that our rival is, our main consumer base, is Gen Z now, right? The younger base of like, 25 and younger, right? That is where we're focusing because that is the future of gaming, right? And what they consume, the mass media that they consume, the thing that's taking their attention right now, the entertainment that's taking their attention is things like TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, movies, things like that. That's the entertainment that this generation is focusing on. So they're trying to compete against those entertainment sources and get people to come off of those and come to there. So I get what he's trying to say, but it rolls off the wrong way with like real hardcore gamer because it's like, bro, why are you focusing on that? You should be focusing on trying to beat your rivals in your market, which are PlayStation and Nintendo. So when they say things like that, it just comes off very weird. But I think that's part of the issue now is that they are focusing on competing against other entertainment sources and not looking at PlayStation and Nintendo as competition. I think that's the main reason Xbox is in the position that they are in now, where they're having to put their mascot on PlayStation, where they're having to launch all their games onto other platforms, where they're having to increase the price of Game Pass and they increase the price of their console and essentially move to a more platform agnostic strategy is because their focus has shifted from console first to ecosystem first, right?
I was gonna say
And I
now
think,
that you going into that, just go straight into the 30% because you're already about to
oh,
hit it. Yeah, just go ahead. We could just rapid fire it.
okay. Yeah. So then you have, sorry, I lost my damn train of thought. Shit. Now you have news that, oh, Amy Hood is now asking the Xbox division to hit, 30%, do a 30% increase on their return right now, which is insane when you actually really think about it, because most other gaming companies, PlayStation, Nintendo, only really hit between 50 to 20%. As far as like their profits are concerned, as far as the increase that they do every quarter. So to ask for 30 is
Crazy.
it's very interesting. Yeah. And it makes me think, I don't know if she realistically expects them to hit that, or if that's just a goal that she just put there for them to be like, okay, we can try to hit that, we can get as close as we can, but honestly, the announcement of this, it was news broken by Bloomberg, I think, that this was Amy Hood's
Bloomberg.
directive.
Yeah, they had investigated and found out from several sources and corroborated and verified that that was the mandate internally for Xbox now, that they need 30% margins.
Yeah. So yeah, they if they reach this 30% margin target for their, yeah, it's insane, to be honest. And it really explains why there was a sudden flip in Xbox's strategy, right? Because people were like, us included, right? We were surprised by it went from when they got Bethesda to these games will show up on places where Game Pass exists, right? That was the reiteration that Phil kept saying, right? Because people kept asking, because I remember after the Bethesda acquisition, he got so many interviews, so many questions, so many like Twitter comments asking, will these games be on PlayStation? Will they be on Switch? Will they be on PC? So many people asking, are you keeping these exclusive or what? Right? He probably got asked that 50 times. And one of his final decrees on the subject, where he was kind of like laying down the law, like, this is what I mean, is when he said that these games will exist where Xbox or where Game Pass exists, right? Then it switched to, okay, well, we got these 4 games that we're kind of testing the waters in, and we're going to put them on PlayStation. And we don't want PlayStation players to think that this is the new norm, and more games going to show up on their platform. This is just for these 4 games and blah, 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 right? And then it switched to, okay, so there is no red lines. We're just putting, we're going to put whatever game we think fits on PlayStation, we're going to put on PlayStation. To now, our staple IP, Halo, is coming to PlayStation. And from this point forward, Halo will always be on PlayStation. So we see the drastic change step by step over the past, and it hasn't even been that long. It's the past year that this has progressively been getting more and more, I guess, worse in terms of games coming over from Xbox to PlayStation. And we really couldn't wrap our minds around it. We guessed like, okay, it's Activision. It's, the need to Game Pass isn't really making much money. So they have to start looking at other avenues of revenue to make up for the loss in profits. And, we are speculating, but then we get this confirmation that here comes the chief financial officer, Amy, as they love to call her, Amy the Hood, right? Who was like, all right, motherfuckers, I'm gonna now mandate that you raise your target margin to 30%. Okay, profit. That's what we want. 30% in a market where even the best of your competitors really only reach 20% on a good day. We expect you, the loser, to get 30. Like, I was just like, yo, that shit is insane. But yeah, it makes sense as to why there was just cancellations, there were layoffs. They increased the amount of Game Pass, like the price of Game Pass almost double within 2 years. They just drastically started announcing ports for PlayStation. Like, all of these 180s and these drastic changes make so much sense now that we know that this mandate has been a thing for like the past year or two. They've been putting down the hammer. They've been saying, all right, we gave you guys like $69 billion to get Activision. We gave you like $9 billion or whatever. I can't remember how much Bethesda cost. So we gave you almost like $100 billion for games. Now we need our, we need an investment on, we need a return on our investment now. Okay. So you're going to have to start pumping out money, right? Milk it wherever you can get it, whether it's PlayStation, Switch, PC, whatever, because these Xbox gamers, they're not really buying games. Okay. They're doing their Game Pass thing and they buy games here and there, but for the most part, they're not really high on the totem pole when it comes to getting game revenue, right? So now that they've essentially reached the cap of their Game Pass subscriber count, because that's basically what they've said. Like, there are really no more potential subscribers for Game Pass. The last number we heard was, I think, during the Activision deal, and it was like 35 million, and we haven't heard anything since, like, as far as a definitive number of how many Game Pass subscribers there are. So I'm guessing they're just kind of between the numbers of 35 to 40, like it's just kind of up and down between those numbers, and they really haven't had an increase. Even with the biggest game in the world, right, which is arguably Call of Duty, they put that day one in the service, and they were still unable to have a drastic increase in Game Pass. And I think it was at that moment when they realized that even with one of the highest played and most bought games in the industry, even with that game being in our subscription service, we can't get a drastic bump in our subscribers, then nothing will, right? I think that's kind of the revelation they had. Like, if a game that is the number one on the charts every fucking year can't make our subscriber count go up, then shit, nothing will. We just have to, at this point, we're just gonna have to increase the price of Game Pass, right? We're gonna have to just increase it. And then that's what they did. Increase it to 30. Increased it to 16 on PC, and then then we're here now, and now we see why all of these crazy ass changes are happening. They attempted to raise the price to $80 for games. That backfired. Again, fucking Outer Worlds 2 was the wrong game to do that with to begin with.
Absolutely.
Maybe they should have saved that for 2026 when they have like Fable and Gears of War E-Day and Halo and things like that, but they chose the wrong time to do that. I'm guessing 2026 is going to be the year when they're going to try to bring back 80, but that's a completely different discussion. But again, all this makes so much sense. I'm really glad this story broke, because people, we really need to understand why a lot of this is happening. But I think the biggest misconception that a lot of people have with this whole situation is now they found like a new villain to blame for Xbox's situation. Now Amy Hood is the bad guy. They're like,
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Phil Spencer, mind you.
that's what I'm about to say. See, it's like see that's why everything bad is happening to Xbox. It's Amy Hood. She's the bad guy. She's the one we need to put our our pitchforks and our torches at. Her and Satya are, Microsoft are ruining Xbox. And I'm like, sure, they are mandating a unrealistic expectation for the the gaming division that is Xbox, but there's a reason for that. All right, it comes after 10 years of poor decision making by Phil Spencer that now has led to this point. So you can't just sit here and just be like, just because you want Phil to be the good guy, you want someone at Xbox to be the guy who's holding the line, who's holding back the devils at the other side of the door, right? Phil's just so great. He's never done anything wrong. All he ever does is great for Xbox. Anything bad that happens has nothing to do with the leader of Xbox. It's everybody else, right? The person in charge who's paid multiple millions of dollars to be the head of this division. It's not his fault if anything bad. But hey, anything good that happens, that's Phil. Okay? Anything bad that happens, no, it has nothing to do with him. He wasn't even at that meeting. Okay? He wasn't even there. They held him at gunpoint. You don't even
He
understand.
wasn't even there.
Okay, he was not even, bro. He was asleep. He was online playing Fallout 76. He wasn't even at the meeting, bro. I swear, I
remember
was
that. He
in
wasn't
the
there. He
game
was
chat.
playing the game.
I was in the party chat with him playing, bro. He wasn't even there. Like, that's how they treat this man.
He's
Like,
friendly. He play with
he's this like figurehead apparently who has no power at Xbox, and all he can do is just do what everybody else tells him. Apparently he has the easiest job in the world, because I want that. I want to be paid multiple millions of dollars, and apparently I have no say in what happens anywhere, and I could just sit and do nothing and just take praise. But then when bad things happen, it's not my fault. Like, sign me up for that job. Like, because apparently I don't do anything all day. I just sit there and smile and tell everybody they should buy Game Pass. But I think that's the problem. Again, people are looking for someone to blame, and they're not blaming the right people. And I'm not saying everything that bad happens is always Phil, but I'm saying to try to negate that Phil has no responsibility in the situation that Xbox is in currently is stupid. It's ignorant. It just shows you really don't know anything, or that you see this person in a light that is not accurate. Okay, like I'm not saying he's a terrible person. I'm just saying he is the head of a business, and if a business is doing bad, you can't sit here and say the head of that business is not at fault. Like, he is the captain, and the captain goes down with his ship. Okay, like the reason Xbox is in the position they are is based on decisions that Phil himself made. And you could say, well, but those decisions help. If he didn't make certain decisions, Xbox wouldn't exist. And I'm like, sure. I think a lot of situations would catch 22, right? He put a Band-Aid over a giant gaping gunshot wound that was Xbox. And yeah, it'll stop the bleeding for like 5 minutes, but at the end of the day, sepsis is going to take control. You're going to have to cut off the foot. Like it's not a lot of the things he did only like just prolonged the inevitable. It wasn't really a solution. It was just trying to keep Xbox around a little bit longer before the inevitable happened, which is Xbox essentially becoming a third-party publisher, right? Which is why there were so many people the other day saying, see, I knew this was going to happen. People who have tweets back from 2012, 2015, 2018 saying that this was going to happen. It's because it's the mere fact that the decisions that were happening during that time made sense, that this was the direction that they were always headed towards, because they just were making decisions that looked like they were headed in a Sega route, right? And people are trying to say, well, I mean, they're still making hardware. They're still, yeah, sure. They're still making hardware. They have keep announcing their partnership with AMD, and yeah, sure, they're gonna have something, but who's to say it's not a third-party peripheral device that's not even like it's another ROG Ally situation where they're having Asus make the console and they just got their name slapped on it, or there are multiple different third-party consoles with their logo just slapped on it. It's not really Xbox manufacturing it; it's other things like Asus and AMD and other entities that are making this box for them, right? Because it would make sense that way they could just get out of hardware and they could just focus on the software, right? And I just think, again, these are just a domino effects of decisions that have just led to this point, which is why so many people have been reiterating that this was going to happen, and it was obvious to a lot of us in this chat that this was the direction Xbox was going, because this was the only inevitable result that could happen from the decisions that they were making, right? Like if you consistently push the narrative that exclusives don't matter, right? And that exclusives are essentially anti-consumer and they're not what the market deems as necessary, and we live in a world where we want to come to you, not you have to come to us, then that's the only inevitable conclusion that can happen, right? That means you don't have an incentive for people to buy your hardware. You don't have an incentive to come on your platform if your platform is coming to everywhere else, right? If everything, like people keep saying, if everything is an Xbox, then nothing is an Xbox, right? Their Xbox really has no identity at this point. It's just a logo now. And I honestly feel bad for Xbox fans. And people say, why is this a bad thing? Why is this considered bad or anything like that? And it's because the Xbox brand is it's bad for the fans in my personal opinion, because a lot of people, and especially in today, right, with the economy and everything, a lot of people only pick one platform, right? And they make their decision based on what? Based on most likely like the games that platform has to offer, right? It's like you start off the generation and you're like, okay, do I want to play Halo, Gears, and Forza, or do I want to play God of War, Last of Us, and Spider-Man, right? And a lot of people make their decision based on that. People all say all the time, the exclusives don't matter. Nobody picks that. And I'm like, okay, well then why is there such a 5-1 lead on PlayStation if exclusives aren't a definitive factor? Because all of these multi-platform games can be played on any platform. You can play them on Xbox, you can play them on PlayStation, shit, and almost you can play them on Switch. At this point, they're getting their multi-platform games down the line. So then, what is the incentive that makes people pick the PlayStation over the Xbox if they're all the same shit, right? And if all people only play Call of Duty, Fortnite, Apex, Minecraft, these games can be played on any damn console. Shit, these games can be played on a damn tablet. Okay, you don't need a console for most of these games. So the deciding factor for most people are exclusives, right? And so if you end the generation with the proposition of, okay, the reason you bought this platform, the exclusives, Gears, Forza, Halo, yeah, they're gonna go on the other platform. Then at the end of the day, I'm gonna be pissed if I'm an Xbox only owner, because it's like, well, shit, if I knew that, I could have just got a PlayStation and played their exclusives and played Xbox exclusives and only had to buy one box. Like that's the real problem. It's just like the misleading consumers into thinking that you're going to have these exclusives, because when they did purchase Bethesda, they did say that these games were going to be exclusive to where Game Pass exists, and that was a misleading misnomer that Xbox gave people, right? And even the Xbox influencers were parroting that. It doesn't make sense if you spend $12 billion on a publisher for them to for them to keep doing the same thing they were doing. Obviously, they're going to make these games exclusive, right? And then as soon as those games weren't exclusive anymore, it's then the new pecking orders came down the line, and all of a sudden it's y'all. It doesn't make sense for these games to be exclusive now. Okay, everything needs to be multi-platform. It's just better for gamers. It's better for developers. It makes sense. You shouldn't be upset about this. This is the new norm. We should all get behind this. It's just like, again, the whole switching up based on what the company says is just very weird to me. I like, listen, PlayStation went to a more live service-esque route. I did not back that shit up. I don't give a damn. I don't care what they say about live service. I don't care what they say about this and that. It's not for me. I don't like the strategy.
I'm on Herman's neck every day.
Yeah, I don't like this fucking strategy. Go back to single player, okay? Because y'all suck at live service. I'm sorry, y'all do. Y'all had one good game and it wasn't even made by your own team. It was made by Helldivers, and you didn't even back it up. You didn't even support it enough because you couldn't see that it was going to be great. Like, exactly. I saw from the first trailer, I said, "Oh, this shit's gonna hit. This shit's gonna fucking hit." I was like, "Oh, that looks great," and then that shit blew up. And then PlayStation was confused. They were like, "Wait, what?" They didn't even have the servers ready for this shit. It was so overloaded. They were just like, wait, huh? Helldivers? Wait, but what about Concord? Motherfucker, that shit looked like ass. I'm sorry.
There was so much effort in Concord.
It's a Concord. I couldn't, like, they need to pay me. I could have told you. You could have showed me a 2-minute trailer. No, not even 30 seconds. And I could have told you, don't do that. Don't release that. Huh? Don't do that. It's going to fail. What are you talking about? But look at the graphics. It's gonna fail. I'm telling you right now, it's not gonna work. Like they need to hire me, bro. I could just tell from within 30 seconds. I can tell you if a game is gonna flop or not. But it's
basically what they need to do is Xbox. They need to trade some of the people to PlayStation when it comes to multiplayer. And
I mean, not even that, because they can't do any of that right now. If they get anybody for multiplayer, it need to come from other studios, not
I'm
not
just
them.
saying in general, PlayStation sucks at multiplayer.
Yeah, I think PlayStation's problem was they went feet first into it. Like they just head first, I should say. They just head dive right into it because they were so scared about the Activision acquisition that they needed so many live service games, which is why they
canceled half of them.
They funded so many damn games because 12. They were scared Xbox was going to take Call of Duty away. So they just rushed to it, and they didn't do what PlayStation normally does, like we've seen when it comes to like their single player strategy, where they kind of take their time. They get the feel for the studio. They have the studio release multiple games for them first, and then once that relationship is cemented, then they bring them into the fold. Like Insomniac was making games for PlayStation for since the PS2 generation. They've been making games for them for decades, and they're just now in the fold because that's how PlayStation always worked, right? They always got their relationship, they built them up, and then they brought them in. But PlayStation was bringing in new studios we've never heard before, like studios that haven't really made anything, immediately buying. We bought this, we bought that, we bought this random little live service studio, we bought that, and I'm just like, who the hell are these people?
Yeah,
and that's why most of the studios. Yeah, that's why most of those multiplayer studios that they bought ended up getting shut down. Games get canceled because it didn't work, because that's not the strategy PlayStation normally does. But again, when you work on fear and you work on, oh my God, we have no choice but to do this. This is the kind of result you get, right? And now, because of decisions that PlayStation made, it had a ripple effect across the entire generation, where they were canceling games, slowing down the production of their single player studios because they were having them try to make live service games, the a la Naughty Dog, right? Trying to force them to make factions into this big live service thing when nobody asked for that. And then it ended up getting canceled, which pushed back their release schedule for their single player games. And then, as I'm saying, the whole thing had a fucking ripple effect, which ended disastrously. So I'm just like, this was not a good plan for PlayStation, and I do not back this shit at all. I think it was terrible. But the thing with, again, Xbox pundits, they like whatever Xbox decides is the correct strategy. that day. And one day it's exclusives matter. That's the thing. That's what we're backing because they said the games will be wherever Game Pass exists, and that makes sense. That's great. That's good for the platform. That's good for Xbox. And then when Xbox switches it and says, actually, games aren't good, the exclusives aren't good for the platform, and multi-platform is the way to go, then they switch and they're like, yes, that's right. Actually, it makes sense when you think about it. It makes sense. Don't you want developers to get as much money as possible? Don't you want the games to be everywhere? It's just nothing is consistent. It's a shame. But I'm
Yes,
getting off
man.
topic. But yeah, but exactly. They want to keep the perks that they get from these studios, right? They want to get the flights and the breakfasts and the game codes and the new products that they put out, right? They want to get their hands on the ROG Ally, right? You know, all that stuff. So you got to tote the line, right? The new orders come down. You gotta spread them out. You gotta spread it to the masses, whether they agree with it or not. That's not on you. You just gotta speak the words. That's what they want. So, but yeah, Microsoft, Amy Hood, this makes sense. I think this 30% margin is only going to lead to more layoffs. It's only going to lead to more studios closing down. And I swear, if they shut down, and they cancel, motherfucking
State of Decay.
State of Decay 3. I swear.
Yeah, it's
as
time,
long
it's
as
time
I've
to
been
riot.
waiting
Time to riot.
on this damn game, I swear, Microsoft, on you, I will be in California at the fucking Xbox headquarters. Okay, like,
or in this case, Redmond, Virginia. They're in a different place, but yeah. So,
okay, that's closer to me. That's even better.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's even closer. So
okay, that's even better. So stayed away. All right, so that's a quick little drive I can make. I will be there because I am so upset.
I don't condone this, but okay.
I'm not condoning violence. I'm saying I'm gonna be there to protest. Okay,
I'm fucking
like
with you.
I don't like the current strategy that they've been doing. I don't like the layouts that they've been doing. I don't like the fact that Perfect Dark got canceled. I was looking forward to that game, and of course they canceled it immediately. And I just gotta fear that State of Decay, because they've been so quiet about it, that it might be next on the chopping block, especially with this 30% issue. There, with this strategy, with Amy Hood's new directive orders, right? All of this is going to lead to is we're only going to back games that we have guaranteed success for, right? We're not going to back anything creative or out there or crazy indie. Like, yes, they did they just did what's the game y'all were just playing?
Keeper.
Fucking Keeper, right? Like, yeah, but that's a very specific type of game with a very, you know, popular developer. So they're gonna leave that alone, right? But as far as like other small indies, unknown games, I don't see Microsoft or Xbox really backing those types of games, at least from first party, because that's money that can be spent on
more investment into Game Pass and third party stuff.
Yeah. They're gonna spend a lot more money on COD, a lot more money on, you know, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, the money makers of Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
And any kind of creativity, any kind of out of the box thing that hasn't been tested, and something that's not a tried and true method in gaming, I don't see them giving funding for that. They're just like, I don't think that's gonna work. Then no, how about you do that other game that you've always done? Yeah, let's do another one of that. Or hey, you want to make a live service game? we got funding for that. Would you like to make that? Like, I just feel like that's the strategy that Xbox is going to be going on from now on, and it just sucks because again, that's what hinders creativity, and that's what hinders innovation in our space, in the gaming space. And I just fear that is the path that Xbox is going on, especially with Microsoft's drive to push AI and to fund AI. Like, Satya has essentially given the mantle of CEO of Microsoft to another one of his proteges so that he can focus solely on AI. He said, I don't want to deal with any other branch of Microsoft. I just want to focus on AI. So there's somebody else now that's kind of in charge of the Xbox situation as far as like the CEO of Microsoft. There's somebody else that's not Satya that's controlling the reins over there now. Satya is full on AI. He don't want to focus on nothing else. That's all he cares about. So I'm worried that that's going to be something and Copilot's going to be shoved down the mouths of gamers, right?
Oh yeah,
And
full force.
we see that with the ROG Ally, like that it's already ingrained into the damn ROG Ally Copilot,
Yep.
which nobody fucking asked for. And if, like Sarah said, if the ROG Ally is a look into next gen, then I'm worried about Xbox's next fucking gen, because my God, there is no seamless gameplay or UI situation when it comes to the ROG Ally. It's not a plug and play type situation. There are a lot of updates, a lot of drivers, a lot of apps on there that nobody asked for. The calculator app, the the Teams app, okay,
Yeah.
Copilot, like all of these apps that have nothing to do with gaming are in there and need to be updated before you can play games. Like I was watching videos of people, it takes like an hour or two to boot up the damn ROG Ally because there's so many updates that you have to do on this damn thing before you can start playing anything. And then when you play the Xbox UI itself, it's not a seamless transition between, like, if you're going between Xbox and Steam and the other storefronts, it's not seamless. Like there's a lot of like
It's not.
technical glitches going on with it. And obviously it's new. It's a new kind of UI. It's a new update. So I'm sure they'll be working out things as, time goes on. But listen, their cloud just got out of beta, and cloud's been a thing for Xbox since like 2018. And it literally just got out of beta like on October 1st. So Windows moves kind of slow when it comes to progression, especially in the gaming arena. Like I just don't see it being seamless and intuitive as they're claiming it's going to be when the next generation comes around. But again, I'm not uh I'm not a programmer. I don't work at Microsoft, so I can't say these things definitively. This is just my opinion. I just don't think this is gonna be as seamless as they claim it's gonna be. But all these moves that essentially, that what I'm trying to say is all these moves that Xbox are making does not look good for the future of Xbox to me. This does not look like anything positive is going to come out of this. It looks like if there is another generation, it'll be the last one where Xbox has hardware. Like I think
Yeah.
they'll move to a more publisher first type of situation. Maybe they'll have hardware, but like I said, I think it'll be more of a let Asus make Xbox hardware. You know, uh we'll let AMD make Xbox hardware. We'll let other manufacturers make our hardware, but we'll just kind of implement our software into it, right? It won't be an Xbox first device. It'll be an Xbox partner device. Which again, I just don't like the idea of that. I just miss the big three. I just miss it being three consoles fighting for our dollars based on exclusive games. Maybe I'm old fashioned in that thinking, but I think that was the best method because competition brings nothing but innovation out of
I agree.
in any branch, no matter what you're talking about, gaming, food, like any business that you're talking about, competition always brings out the best, right?
Yeah, it always makes them innovate and create better solutions for the consumer because they
Exactly.
are vying for your dollar and your attention.
Yeah. And I think it's funny, like I was saying, Matt Booty has said that he doesn't see PlayStation as competition, and then you have Xbox influencers saying things like, why do PlayStation fans want Xbox gone? Why do they want, like, nobody's asking that. And they're like, you would regret the day Xbox leaves, you guys want it where PlayStation's the only console. Y'all think that's a good idea. You think the lack of competition is a good idea. And I'm like, when they ask that, I seriously stop and think, and I'm like, what competition is Xbox giving PlayStation right now? Like, I was seriously like mulling it over in my head. I'm like, y'all are saying that if Xbox leaves, that it'll be, PlayStation will take over, PlayStation won't have any competition, and which will lead to PlayStation outpricing everybody in the market. And I'm just like, they don't consider themselves competition with PlayStation right now. And they're not
Yeah.
really doing much in a competitive way against PlayStation with anything. Right? That their games are going to PlayStation. Their hardware is more expensive than PlayStation. The Game Pass prices are going up. I've been trying to rack in my mind a way that Xbox is being competitive in any way towards PlayStation, and I can't I can't think of anything. I'm like, I mean, I don't see how they're competition with PlayStation right now. So if they leave, will anything really change? Like, I don't know. Maybe it will. Maybe because there's that vacuum of space where the third one was. But again, they don't consider themselves currently to be competition with PlayStation, and they're not really doing anything to compete with PlayStation. So I don't know if much will change in the way of how the industry works if they ever leave. But again, I'm not saying I want them to leave. I want Xbox to be there. I want them to put their foot on PlayStation's neck, because them putting their foot on PlayStation's neck during the 360 the 360 era was the reason that we got such a great PS4 era, right? They were like, bro, we can't do this. Like Xbox is coming with all this hotness. Everybody's getting a 360. By the end of the PS3, they realized that their nook where they shine is that
Bringing them
blockbuster
quality
third person
exclusives.
activity. They were like, oh shit, because they had the Uncharted, they had like Uncharted 3, Uncharted 2 and 3.
And
They
Little Big
had The
Planet.
Last of Us, Little Big Planet, and they realized, oh shit, this is what the people want. This is our market to fill, right? And then they doubled down on that in the PS4 generation, right? And then Xbox floundered in the Xbox One generation. And so, but again, it was the competition. It was the fact that Xbox for the first time was leading on PlayStation, right? It was unprecedented. PlayStation was always number one. And then here comes this console that's cheaper, came out first. It was easier for developers to develop on, and it had more exclusives, by the way. And those exclusives, funny enough, were third party, as they like to say. What's the term they always use for PlayStation? Money had it. Yes, they were the reason people love the 360 is because all of the money had it games that Xbox had, right? The third party games that they didn't make, that they got time exclusive on, whether it was GTA or a whole bunch of others. Was it Blue Dragon? Freaking or Lost Odyssey, like all of these games that people love, they weren't making. But they had the exclusive rights to, because they were the lead console, right? When you're the lead console with the most, you can make exclusive deals, you can get third party deals for cheaper, and you can get those because the developers are more incentivized because, hey, you have a bigger pool of gamers, and there's a better chance that we'll get more money from you than the other platform. But nobody was mad about money hatting in those days, but now all of a sudden, because PlayStation's back in the lead, then all of a sudden money hatting is evil. But that's a whole nother discussion. But yeah, nothing about this screams good. Nothing about this screams innovation. Nothing about this looks like it's going to be for the betterment of Xbox. And I doubt this is going to end very well for Xbox at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. To something that Fox actually said in the chat, she wanted to hear, because we're not primary, even though, Weeb has an Xbox, but to hear a perspective from an Xbox fan. I actually talked to a couple of them because McQuack was in here earlier. Not that he is one, but we're in a group chat with some of them, and we were kind of having this conversation earlier, and I was talking to a couple of the guys in there that are, primary Xbox or Xbox first kind of fans, and they were, one of the guys was just kind of like, his perspective hasn't changed much, only because, in his eyes, him in particular, he said that he basically got into Xbox as a place to just play with the guys, and that's just what it was then. And also he primarily liked, besides the games during the 360 that were hot, that were those games, Modern Warfare 2s, Gears of War, so on and so forth. It wasn't really for the exclusives for him. It was a lot of the third party stuff, he said, and obviously, like I said, like Morrowind and stuff like that. So he said he just kind of lucked out that turned out to be the things that he liked. And so the transition and stuff hasn't really been crazy for him, but he also has a PC now too. So even though he doesn't play on it a lot, he doesn't particularly love it. Like, he still prefers to play on his Xbox. again, I think he kind of realizes, regardless of how he feels, the decisions they make are going to affect him, because if the next Xbox is this hybrid device that they're talking about, whether or not he likes to play on a PC, he don't have a choice if he wants to continue with Xbox, right? If he wants to be attached to this brand. So I think he kind of realizes it. So he's just kind of riding out the last of Xbox, pure console. Like I said, again, we have to see. But yeah, I mean, he's kind of like okay from a games perspective, what he's been playing, stuff like that currently. But the uncertainty of the future is definitely there. Like, what's going to happen? I think everybody realizes that's a thing, because no one knows what Xbox is realistically going to do. Right? They haven't said it. They keep alluding to things. Sarah Bond keeps saying, this is a good idea of what we're doing, whatever. But yeah, again, they're kind of like okay from like a games perspective, because obviously games have been releasing heavily from third parties, and so on. And Microsoft, at least a little ways through this gen, had really got Sega and Square Enix on board. So some of the games they hadn't played are now over there as well. So they're like okay, but they're okay in a sense of I'm okay now, but not necessarily. I personally don't get that sense of excitement for the future, because it's just different, right? The other guy in the chat that is more of an Xbox guy, he basically plays on everything. So again, he's not going to be affected in the same way. He likes Xbox, but he seems more agnostic, where he just don't really care. He's just playing wherever. So I wouldn't even really consider him that, but he's probably the other Xbox guy in the chat. But everybody just kind of acknowledges where everything is. But yeah, that's honestly the opinion I've seen for more rational Xbox fans, not Xbox fanboys who are freaking out and in the streets and going crazy and doing whatever they do. But yeah, just to put that in there.
Oh man, GameStop, just breaking news really quick. GameStop just tweeted something. It says GameStop declares the console wars are over. Whereas for the past 2 decades, the global gaming community has engaged in an ongoing and increasingly petty conflict known as the console wars. Whereas said conflict originated in the early 2000s with the release of Halo Combat Evolved as an Xbox exclusive title. Whereas Halo Campaign Evolved is officially coming on PlayStation in 2026 with cross-platform play. Therefore, GameStop, acting under its authority as a neutral entity and the world's retail gaming and trade-in destination, hereby declares the official cessation of the console wars. All claims to exclusivity are hereby dissolved. Console loyalists are instructed to cease hostilities, disband militias, and enjoy the new era of gaming. GameStop will continue to operate as a demilitarized zone, offering hardware, accessories, and trade-ins to combatants on all sides.
Oh my god, bro. GameStop is
GameStop
wild.
is stupid.
Yeah, I gotta read the demilitarized zone.
Yeah, I'll put it
GameStop
in the chat. That shit was
GameStop
hilarious.
is wild. No, that's hilarious. GameStop been on fire lately through all this stuff. So yeah, that is a fire tweet. That is funny. I gotta check that out. But yeah, I'm gonna jump to Weeb real quick, as obviously you are the one within the squad here.
The chosen one.
Yeah, who purchased an Xbox, right? So
Yeah, I'm so inconsolable. Yeah. Oh man, how could this have happened? I think I need to make a song like my good friend Kids Move.
Right.
Probably something like I don't know, Crackdown, Recore, and Blinks. Those are still exclusive.
Those are still exclusive. Oh man, I love it. Weeb, you're the best, man. How are you feeling as our resident Xbox owner? About the Halo Campaign Evolved, the 30% mandate, and as Morgan went into as well, the antiquated nature now that Xbox has taken with exclusives. They no longer matter, and that is the future of Xbox. How are these things feeling for you as an Xbox owner?
Well, I mean, I guess as soon as my Game Pass subscription runs out, that thing is gonna go back in the box, in under my bed or something, and I'll never touch it
man.
again. Yeah.
Oh man, We've said I don't need you no more.
No, no, no.
The little the
Halo was
woody
the last
toy
one.
gift.
Yeah, the Woody
Now
gift.
over.
Toy. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Oh, cool.
Sir, you don't need it either.
Who? Who don't need it?
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Oh, I must have lagged or something because you said something and I didn't hear it at all.
Hmm.
Okay. No. You continue. I didn't know. I didn't mean if I cut you off. If I did, I think I lagged or something.
Oh,
Okay. You're
no.
good.
No, it was Nate. Go
Okay.
ahead, Omar.
Go ahead.
Dragon. So
Oh, my bad.
I'm not sure you want to play Blue Dragon.
That's
I
my
tried
fault.
it.
really, is it that bad?
I would say bad or awkward.
Okay, I still want to play the Lost Odyssey because I have heard so many people talk about it from JRPG standpoint, so I want to experience it for myself.
True, but again, like that's like that's my reason why I got the Series X, and I
You
have
play
both
this?
of those games, but I mean I played it a bit, but then I was reminded, okay, I got so many other games to play right now, and then these old ass games. So yeah, I mean, probably at some point I'm gonna get around to it, but I mean, I'd say
I mean,
I'm
instead of
not sure
playing
it's
the
worth
Keeper,
it.
you could have played it, but okay, I get you. I'm fucking with you, by
Yeah,
the way.
yeah.
Yeah, that's my bad. I
But
realized why I didn't realize that you stopped talking because Omar was talking, because for a while there Omar was like rummaging around his room and I had to mute him so that his sound would stop coming through.
Wait,
You
how
were
come
not muted.
I muted myself?
Yeah, I
When
had to mute you. So then you started talking and I thought I was lagging because Weeb wasn't talking. And I was like, wait a minute, why did Weeb just stop? But I didn't realize. And then I heard Morgan say, you don't need it either.
Please,
And I was lost because I was like, did I lag that bad?
please tell us that you mute someone so we know
Sir,
next
if you
time.
wasn't in your room conducting World War III, I wouldn't have to mute you.
I literally muted myself though.
You need to learn to mute yourself on Discord and not just via your mic, because apparently that feature no longer works on your mic. But
Weird.
go ahead. My bad.
Wait, can we just all mute Omar? And
But going back to it, I do still want to experience Lost Odyssey. That's the only reason
yeah,
I
sure.
would.
And to be fair, it did look pretty good from the portion I played. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Aside from that, like to be fair, like I'm like you, Nate. I'm not a huge fan of Halo. I tried playing the first one that it's called the Master Chief Collection.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, as soon as you hit that open world, that sandbox, you're like, oh come on. Like it got so boring very quick. Like I initially thought, okay, maybe they're onto something.
Yeah.
And then they decided. I think that the time probably was like, oh yeah, wow, like we haven't seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's kind of the problem with all of their IPs. Like the same with what happened with Gears. Like I tried playing that, and I guess that doesn't have like the same treatment that Halo seems to be not getting. But still, like it's so dated to me that I'm like I can't really get into this, and that's kind of the problem with these kind of franchises is that yeah, if you didn't get into it when it came out, um, yeah, it's kind of very hard to get into it because everything else is very hinging on you having played the previous games and know what's going on. Like, and I know I mean, there are games where you can kind of get away with that. Like, I mean, I played Mass Effect 2 before I played the first one because that wasn't on PlayStation back then. Um, and and I didn't feel like I was necessarily missing anything there because the story was so good, and they kind of clued you in what happened before, and it sort of worked. But I think with these games, it's really sort of designed to be, the sort of you have to keep on, yeah, you have to be invested in it, and it's kind of not necessarily you can lost in terms of story, but more like you don't really have any attachments to these characters. Like I tried like playing Gears 5, for example, because okay, let's see how the most recent entry looks like compared to the first one. Like, yeah, I mean, I don't know who these characters are. I have no connection with them.
That
There's
was a mistake
literally
to do.
yeah,
I
but
was the same way.
there's literally and at the beginning they're literally saying, oh, it seems somebody if
Yeah, well,
somebody
you
can
play as a
correct
different character.
Omar, can I finish my sentence? Thank you. If somebody can correct me, but it seems like, at least from the recap, that literally it sort of begins where the previous game ended. And I'm like, okay, that's like such a sucky
No,
way of
actually,
doing
there is
storytelling.
a time difference. There is a time skip for a period of 10 years or something like that, I remember.
From
But
four
there
to
is a
five.
significant time skip.
Sorry, from what?
No, not from 4 to 5. From 3 to 4, my bad.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
But
yeah.
I
I was
okay.
get
gonna
it.
say that's completely different.
Yeah, again, I haven't played Forza, I don't know, but it seems like, at least the way to recap the story, like, okay, you're literally sort of ending with the cliffhanger, and then you continue the story, because and that's, it sort of feels like the remember the when they all those teen novels were being made into movies, and then decide that the last one is going to be split into two for no apparent reason.
Yeah,
Like that kind of felt to me like I'm completely lost. Sort of like there is no way to really catch up there, because you're sort of literally expected to have played the previous game to even understand, okay, what's the status quo, where are we? So, and that's kind of things like it's very hard to get into it if you're yeah, if the gameplay feels kind of dated, if and the way the mission, or say the story is structured. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna get this new Halo, or the remake, because I wasn't really blown away by the first one. But yeah, I mean, it is, of course, the last, the crown jewel of Xbox has now found its way to its main competitor, or I guess if we have to believe Matt Booty, no, they're not. What was it, TikTok and all that bullshit? Like they keep changing their tune, whatever fits the narrative. But yeah, we all know where this is coming from. The 30% target, which is insane, is expected, of course, because yeah, they made a massive gamble with getting Activision, with the entire spending spree they were at, and now the chickens come home to roost. Like this is reality. It doesn't matter if Microsoft is $1 billion or $1 trillion company, it's the biggest in the world. They still have to make a profit. They still have to get a return on their investment. Uh, every time you make a major acquisition like that, there's going to be the fallout, and the fallout is massive. Yeah, this explains a lot. Explains all the layoffs. Explains all the cancellations, and yeah, it is not a good sign for things to come, and everything like that's kind of the most annoying thing about their. I mean, all these CEOs and these executive of these companies, of course, they're just talking the talk. They're trying to sell you on their bullshit, but with Xbox, there's levels to this, and they're constantly just talking about complete and utter nonsense. Like there is nothing they're saying is meant. They're just reading from a script. They're it's spinning. It's word salad. Nothing that they're saying makes any sense. Like every time they're I mean, I just wish it just come out there, yeah, just oh yeah, look, okay, let's just skip the bullshit. We know, we know you know that we have these targets, that we have to massively increase our profit margins or our growth. So yeah, we have no choice but to do this. Like it's not like exclusives don't matter. It's just that yeah, we can't afford them because we suck at this. We don't have enough of a user base, and we've made massive. Basically, we're massively in debt as the Xbox division to Microsoft because of the spending spree we went through, and we have no way of recouping that within the time frame that they're expecting us to. That's the reality of it. That's why we're doing this. That's always the dumbest thing that they're trying to convince us that this is how the industry is going. This is for everybody. No, this is because of your hubris. This is because you weren't able to do your job. Uh, Exclusives work perfectly fine for everybody else. Nintendo has no problems with them. Sony has no problems with them. But Xbox somehow is beyond exclusives because their games don't sell. Yeah, surprise, surprise. If you train your consumers to not buy games, they don't buy games. It's that simple. And now they gambled, they lost, and this is where we at. Now everything is coming to their competitors, um, and yet don't count on their competitors to reciprocate because no, it's the strategy of the loser of this race. They gambled, they lost, and now they have to pay the price for that. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, we can say it's maybe bad for gaming if they completely drop out, but on the other hand, like I mean, you can say I think you guys already touched upon that, but you can say that the entire games as a service initiative that Sony has been pushing, is directly caused by Xbox. Is spending spree, right? They bought Activision, Call of Duty could have become exclusive. Sony got nervous. They wanted to have their own next big thing, so they decided, okay, we're gonna make it on our own. And they bought the studios like Bungie. That was definitely a mistake. They were a terrible influence on the rest of the studios. Um, yeah, so you can also argue that in that sense, you don't need that kind of competition. That's basically just dragging you down and making things worse for everybody. You want to have healthy competition. Yeah, and I think it might be time for Xbox to just bow out, leave, and let somebody else step in and take over if at all possible. But I don't think this is they're not helping. They're not making the market better. The only thing they're doing is buying stuff and devaluing games and causing the worst to come out of their competitors. Um, so yeah, I mean, and in the end, like all the entire that campaign with this is an Xbox, that's an Xbox. Uh, it was all just to prepare you for for what's to come, right? The Rock Ally was the first part of that strategy. Yeah. Oh, this is an Xbox. Yeah. No, it's a PC, handheld PC. It's already in the market. We just put a button on it. But yeah, no, it's an Xbox. And that's just to prepare for the next Xbox, which is going to be PC. with probably an Xbox logo painted on it, and having like the Xbox app launch at startup, because the thing is going to run on Windows, and that's it. Like it's not going to be anything special. They're going to try to convince you it's a console or a hybrid console, but hybrid console is just it just to me that just means it's a PC, with an Xbox branding. That's it. There's nothing special about it. It is literally the end, of Xbox as a console brand. They're just gonna go full PC, and they're gonna try to stretch that, I guess, as long as possible. But yeah, I don't know what the end result, what they're hoping for, because it seems very clearly their price increases for Game Pass, yes, is of course to get that money to increase their margins. And yeah, I mean, I'd say probably, considering the calculation made, that there has to be such a massive drop off for them to not increase their revenue with this, because yeah, it's a massive increase in monthly revenue they're going to get. But yeah, I don't know what the end games, what they're expecting the end games to be, because in the end, they have, they still have PC Game Pass, which is cheaper, and doesn't have all that hubris basically from, like, nobody really cares that you have, with Ultimate now. Yeah, okay, you have everything in there that you don't use. I think either you're going to see somewhat a massive drop off for the console Game Pass, because next generation, what are people going to do? You will have a couple of diehards who are going to stick with them no matter what. But if you're not offering an actual console next generation, I'd say a lot of them are going to move to PlayStation if they haven't already, because I mean, I'm getting more games there, and at least have a console experience. I don't have to, I don't. If you don't want to mess with a PC, then you shouldn't have to. And that's the reality of it, because if Xbox is just going to introduce an Xbox brand of PC, it's going to be PC, and you're going to have, all the things that you were complaining about not wanting to handle, but because that was your main reason for sticking with console, that's going to happen. So you're not gonna you're gonna have to make a choice then. Do I stick with console? Then your only choice probably is going to be PlayStation. And if you're going to move to PC, cool. But then why the hell would you buy an Xbox branded PC if you can just build your own? That's going to be much better, much more optimized, and going to run the games at the way you want to run them. Uh, so I don't really see this strategy going in any way. I mean, so far nothing has worked. I don't see this strategy gonna end up them somehow finding the sort of the holy grail of, oh, we broke the code, we now know how to work this, how to make Xbox profitable, how to win the console war. They're basically, yeah, we're gonna win the console war, but not participating in it, because that's basically what they're doing. Yeah, I can see how this is gonna end well. Like, I don't know how they're seeing. I think this is sort of probably a death nail for Game Pass in a way, because they're sort of pricing themselves out of the market with $30, and they can't maintain that, because if everybody's going to leave the console, I mean, there's going to be a time period where people are still going to stick on the old on the console, and not buying the new Xbox, whatever that's called, going to be called. But yeah, still you're gonna you're gonna then have a massive drop off of of those subscribers. So either they're gonna say, oh, now PC gamers are gonna pay 30 $30 a month, which they probably not gonna do, because they're gonna just say, yeah, fuck that, I'm out of here. So I have no idea how they're expecting to come on top of this. I think at this point they're just scrambling. They're just doing whatever think they can to meet those targets. They're just probably more concerned of keeping their jobs than really thinking, okay, how can we make sure that the brand, the ecosystem, whatever, is going to survive, for another gen. This is unfortunate. The consequences of choices they made. I don't blame them for trying to somehow get out of this and get out of the eternal third place position. But it did not turn out the way they had hoped. It did not turn out the way the fans had hoped. It is what it is. I mean, we've been saying this for since they've started with these acquisitions, especially with Activision. This is not going to turn out the way you think it's going to turn out, and lo and behold, this is what happens. And I guess we're gonna see another Sega. Hopefully, they're going to keep on making games, making content with their studios.
Hopefully,
and they're going to deliver. Hopefully not too much AI. And it is what it is. I can't really I can't really change the narrative there. It's just it's the inevitable death blow, I guess, with Halo coming. I think I don't know if anybody had any hopes that would remain where it was, but it has happened, and everything else is. I think this is just the sort of symbolic endpoint for Xbox, where they say, okay, now it doesn't matter anymore. We don't care about exclusive. We don't really care about console gaming. Give us your money. That's all we care about. That's pretty much the narrative that they're now propagating.
Yeah, I agree. That's what it's looking like. Omar, again, you, Halo,
Oh boy.
the 30%, and then of course the antiquated comment in the future of Xbox. It's loaded, but how are you feeling about these things?
So I'll start with the what you call it, the Halo one. Xbox died the second they went day and date with PC. Let's give it a buck. It was just a matter of slow death. When they announced that 4 games only, like we own you. Like I remember there was a rumor that Halo is at work, Gears at work, Forza at work for PlayStation. We covered it, and the rumor did turn out to be true. I genuinely question, did were they intended? Was this all intended to be revealed back then? But because of the vitriol that we saw with the Xbox fanboys when it come to Twitter, how they were reacting, and Xbox was like, Microsoft was like, "No, let's hold back on the news and trickle it bit by bit." Because for the most part, everything that we heard was rumored to be turned out to be true. The only thing I would say that was not true, at least maybe it's still at work, is it was supposed to be Halo Collection and not just one Halo. So maybe they changed that. Besides that, everything that was rumored to be turned out to be true. So it it's clearly obvious Xbox don't care. I mean, it's not that they don't care; they have no other choice. Let's give it a buck. With the amount of money that they had, they still couldn't put a game that rivals The Last of Us 1. I will always stand by that. There is no game that I have played from Xbox that rivals The Last of Us 1. And that's what? A PlayStation 3 game.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem with Xbox. They couldn't measure up. And even when they bought two publishers, look, not one, but two, they still didn't move the needles. Um, uh, Correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't play COD, but apparently COD lost 300 million or something
Yeah,
dollar.
when they made the shift to Game Pass.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, that astronomically insane. I I don't like if you're Amy Hood, and this is how out of touch with reality she seems to be. How you are gonna look at what COD did to Game Pass and then think to yourself, oh, you know what? We're gonna be we need to reach 30%. If despite PlayStation and Nintendo, with Nintendo have the biggest, I think, high return on investment outside of PlayStation. They're sitting at 20 or something percent. Yet you, Xbox, that's last place, you want to be at 30, and you're not doing it. And this is again another issue. You're not doing it by creating more games. You you kill games. You fire people, you release people, you shut down studios. Studio like Tango Games, like you had a gem at hand. They were working on, they wanted to work on Hi-Fi Rush 2. And what did you do? You closed them down. Another one, Perfect Dark. Yes, it was a slice, a perfect slice, so it was not an actual game. But still, it looked interesting. You killed it. And I'm not gonna say it because Morgan gonna be at me with this one, but for the longest I didn't believe State of Decay is gonna survive, but it survived so far. From the gameplay, it does. From the video, from the what you call it, the trailer we've seen, it does look what you call it when it comes to development to be good, but you never know with these people. So I don't know. It just feels like not only Xbox but Microsoft is out of touch. And for the first time, I will say this is not on Phil. He genuinely can't do anything about it. I truly believe Phil's hands are tied.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I don't.
at this point, after all these
I,
years.
I don't believe he wants this. This is an Xbox plan, ad, or whatsoever. I truly believe this is a Saraband with Amy Hood campaign. I truly believe Phil's gonna retire soon. It's over for him. Uh, and whatever happened with Xbox. 'Cause he he made a lot of mistakes, but he did he did prevent Xbox from getting shut down. His biggest mistake was going day and date on PC. That's literally his biggest mistake. Like you could forgive uh, game day and date in Game Pass. You could forgive that for the most part because you will still need an Xbox. But the second you went day and date on PC, it's over. Like Ori, I played Ori on my PC. I didn't on my laptop. I didn't play it on Xbox. I never needed an Xbox. Gears, I played it on PC. Um, Forza, I could have played it on PC. Everything was playable on PC. So you literally didn't need an Xbox to experience what Xbox is doing, which is mind-boggling to even say so. I don't know what. Like I had high hope. I remember when Phil Spencer there was an article about Phil Spencer wanting to make a game that rivals uh, hey, Horizon Zero Dawn. Either rival it or be on par with it. I read that. I was like, "Who? Show me that." So I play it. It never came, and this was, I think, after Third Dawn. So it's frustrating, dude. When it comes to Xbox, it genuinely is. It seems like they have given up, and I fear for it because by doing so, they have introduced a few after organizing things add before gameplay. This is if PlayStation implements this. Oh god, that's number one. And number two, PlayStation now have a carte blanche. They have no competition. Matt Booty literally said it. We don't see PlayStation as console. We don't see consoles as competition. So PlayStation have a free range right now. And yeah, people are gonna say whether PlayStation haven't had competition, but they were still getting money hunted by Xbox. They were still paid to get their games on Xbox. Now Xbox have given up completely. So PlayStation is literally not to say the winner, but more like they have all the freedom in the world. And then you look at the firing for Xbox, you look at everything, and you're like, everything that the CMA and the FCC talked about and said was gonna happen happened. It's almost as if those people studied for this, knew about this, but hey, money talk. I truly believe someone paid, bribed somebody. I can I remember covering it week by week, and it was looking like CMA was winning and PlayStation and Xbox. Microsoft was what you call it was trying to backpedal and stuff like that. And then the leak happened. How it said that they literally wanted to spend PlayStation out of business, and they still got away with purchasing not one but two publishers, which is crazy. But yeah, congratulations for the people that are gonna play Halo on PlayStation. It does look good. I saw the comparison. But it is frustrating that what Xbox is doing, and it doesn't bode well for the next gen. I'm dreading their next gen right now. What's gonna cost? How it's going to be? If it's going to be a hybrid, then you are pointless. Well, I have my 4070, so I'm covered, right, Nate?
Yep.
You here? I not here anymore.
I said yep. I don't know why. I don't know
I
why the mic didn't trigger, but yeah, I said yep.
yeah, Mike didn't trigger. Yeah. So yeah. Um, I feel it's not like I feel bad for the Xbox One. I semi do, but I don't at the same time because we want them. This will going to happen. The person that doesn't have any intellectual interest in any tech or whatsoever, even I could see the writing on the wall. What would happen? And they didn't believe it. They truly they and the sad reality is, if they would rather listen to grifters than accepting reality, or rather fight back. Because if you're capable of fighting back for PlayStation when they give you a $10 upgrade, you should have been able to fight for Xbox what they did with everything that we were trying to do. If you thought from the beginning, when Phil Spencer said you don't need to release a next gen game with your next gen console, that's where it started. That's where it officially started. You already lost the 360 with TV, TV. Your next gen should have been your biggest, what you call it, step up. I'm not 360, Xbox One, my bad. Um, so yeah, I'm rambling, but it is frustrating. But what can you do about it, Amy Hood? I do feel that she is out of touch with this one. I'm not sure if it's a hopeful thinking thing
I mean,
or
she's an
she
executive, so that doesn't surprise me. That
she
they usually are
truly
out of
feels
touch.
it truly feels delusional level of out of touch.
Yeah, but I mean, like
I am.
we told people
How do
they
you?
were gonna get it, you know, whether one way or another, and they were gonna, if they couldn't get it via normal profits, they were gonna get it back in blood. Now I was like, I don't know why people don't know, act like they didn't know what that meant.
But how can you erase it now? Because
Well,
they
no,
what
but
they what
that's the thing you're not getting. When they fire people, that removes overhead, which increases their actual margin. So without actually making more, you increase the margin when you fire people and reduce the cost of operational costs. So that's
so
why a bunch of
basically
these
you're
firings have
cheating.
been happening. Yeah, I mean essentially.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they're trying to fire as many people as possible while maintaining operational, you know, operational capacity. So like that's why you're seeing a ton of this stuff happen, because that's the only real way they could do it, between that and obviously putting their games on PlayStation. So you need to increase profits or you need to get rid of overhead. And so that's why you see them kind of doing both. So that's really what they're doing right now. Whether or not they'll hit it, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously causing issues and sacrifices in certain places, because Microsoft is greedy in the first place, because they're not obviously not just cutting from Xbox. They're firing from Microsoft and other stuff, and they're trying to use AI in places they have no business using it, which is causing a bunch of issues, as well. So yeah, I mean, you got a lot of companies doing that. Like, they're not the only one. Like, you got a lot of companies trying to do that. They have AI writing code when it shouldn't be. So again, the problem is, like, imagine you, right? Me nor you write code. If you had an AI program write code for you, how would you know what was wrong with it or how to analyze it if you don't know how to write code? So that's basically kind of the stuff you're doing. And then if you didn't write the code, it's also inherently harder to understand. So again, they're running into a bunch of issues with a bunch of cost cutting things they're trying to do while chasing the constant wanting of growth and profit. As corporations do. Corporations typically chase constant growth until basically the bottom falls out. So they basically do everything they possibly can, and then they start panicking because once it hits the ceiling, there's no place to go but down. So that's essentially what you're witnessing right now. So they're trying to do everything they can to do what they believe they need to do to keep up with everybody else with AI and all this other stuff, while increasing profits. But it's like, again, they may hit that one quarter or a year or something, but eventually kind of the cracks will show where you basically got rid of too much personnel, and now you don't have anybody on hand to really do anything about it, and you can't really shore up those areas because now all that talent has left your company. So yeah, that's kind of what's happening, but that's the way to explain it. So they're artificially, like you said, increasing, their margins by basically getting rid of the cost, which is the people, and so on and so forth. It's not a good look, but that's what they're doing.
Gotcha. One last thing. You remember a few weeks ago we saw that a leak, not leak. That report from the person that left 343. studios.
Yeah,
At,
that was not good at all.
yeah, so it genuinely makes it doesn't like I don't think he would crash out because of them putting the games on PlayStation. I feel like there is a bigger issue at hand.
No, I mean he literally talked about basically being treated terribly on purpose in order to get him to quit, which is definitely something that companies have done and been guilty of. Because
I think
they
this
want you to quit
also
and not fire you because there's certain things in place and certain protectorants in place if they fire you that they have to adhere to, severances and
yeah.
other things. But if you quit, that's different.
Then you're not liable for money and all of that jazz. I get you.
Yep,
It's a clusterfuck soup, eh?
pretty much. But yeah, I mean everybody kind of said it. Yeah, I mean I don't know. Yeah, like I said, just the quick rundown for me. I don't really care about Halo. I never have. I always said, shout out to the people who do love it. It being on PlayStation and looking prettier doesn't change anything for me. They said Microsoft, the 30% division. Yeah, like I said, everybody says it's kind of like an unrealistic, crazy goal. So we obviously have already seen the results of this mandate being in place for like a year or two, where they're firing a bunch of people. So it kind of is what it is there. Yeah, and we've said it. The whole antiquated thing about exclusives. Obviously you're gonna feel that way when you can't measure up to everyone else. So it is what it is. And then the position they're in, they need all the capital from any game that they releasing in all places because that's the position they put themselves in. So yeah, hopefully for the guys that are Xbox fans out there, you move accordingly and continue to enjoy wherever you play. But yeah, I mean it is what it is. So in other news, we were talking about cost cutting, ironically. In other news, EA forms a strategic partnership with Stability AI. So for people who don't really know what this is kind of doing, so EA was kind of secretly creating an archive of all of their assets that have ever been created by people who have worked for them. So all the artists, all the games they've had over the years, and on the back end, and basically now they've partnered with Stability AI to basically try and feed it all of their artist work and all of their work over the years, and basically try to get AI to, they say enhance, right? But ultimately, what a bunch of these companies want, is to have AI just replace people in general, which is, again, a really weird thing to want when you think the way economies work is that people have to have somewhere to work to produce something and then go purchase things. So if eventually, yeah, there's going to be nothing to snatch up, right? Like this is the whole thing about this is like the evil villain who wants to destroy the world because he wants to rule the world. But it's like, well, if you destroy the world, there'll be nothing for you to rule. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, if all these companies all are under AI and you get rid of all the people, well, the people no longer work or have anywhere to be. So how exactly are they going to invest and you gain money from all these products that you're producing via AI that have, from people that are basically broke? Because, like, again, people have to work somewhere. People have to be able to afford a living in order to purchase or invest in these things. And this is kind of the blind issue going on right now with companies. And like I say, EA is entering the fray in this, like, we expected. One of the things from, they were purchased recently by the Saudi group, and a bunch of other subsidiaries and stuff together. And then, obviously went in to announce this, that they were going to use AI to try and cut costs. Again, they state the term enhance, but it's like, until when, right? Yeah, you're going to keep people on board for certain things, right? But you're going to try and basically run everything on a skeleton crew eventually, once you feel like the AI is properly trained or, what have you, and it can make whatever you want. Ultimately, the evil corporation dream. I can talk to a computer and not have to deal with people and hiring people and all these other things. And I can tell this computer to make me whatever I want and make it. And I think it'll be a good game. And if I can get it to make it for a fraction of the cost, I can do that with a bunch of crap, basically flood the market, see what hits, and get the AI to keep updating the thing that hits. Again, it's all about profits and greed and ridiculousness. It's just crazy, right? You've got, this is why you've got SAG-AFTRA. That, like I said, this isn't new with AI. This is why you had the SAG-AFTRA, where they were going against Netflix and all these other companies, making sure, they couldn't just take people's voices and actors and so on and so forth and kind of replicate them and put them in these things. So you're seeing the same fight here, kind of happening and kind of emerging as, basically they're trying to replace artists by using artists' work to train a computer to do what they did. Which again, has not worked out well, but obviously, again, this is why so many companies are investing in it, because they're in a race to see who can create something that can replace them. And it's sad, honestly, because you've got a ton of them doing that stuff, right? Attempting to remove the human element as much as possible. And now it's not in every case, right? In a lot of places, automation is used to get rid of the busy work so that your talented workers can focus on, things that matter and things that really need their attention. So if there's something that's like a simple daily thing that they do, have the AI or whatever automate that process and then alert you if there's an issue that requires an engineer or someone to go into it further, right? So it's not to say that it's all bad, there's a lot of things that automation has helped or, done really well. But like I said, AI as a full replacement is obviously something that some of these CEOs probably go to bed dreaming about at night. Which is, again, like I said, just sad at the end of the day. But yeah, a ton of people are boycotting this and, kind of going against EA. I heard, one of the things that I notated in chat, one of the guys was flying literally to boycott or picket at, outside of EA to oppose this integration. Cause basically plagiarizing all these works over the years. Obviously the way it works when you work for a company, anything you create under that company owns. So technically they are EA's assets, the stuff that these people have created, on these games and so on and so forth. But obviously it's a dirty practice and a fine line that they're walking here with artists and all these other things, and protecting artists for the future. We still need artists to create a lot of things, create things with the soul. Computers, including AI especially, right? AI doesn't create things. It uses what's been created and then, basically creates an amalgamation of that into something, it thinks you want, but it is not a creator. And that's kind of the issue that's going on here with a lot of this stuff. But yeah, Morgan, how are you feeling about this? Obviously a couple companies have announced certain things. Obviously we've seen good integration of AI, with PlayStation using it to increase the speed of translation, so they can support even more languages, which is great. That's awesome, because that can be time consuming for some of these really big games that we play. But as far as like EA trying to essentially replace their artists and so on, how are you feeling about this?
Yeah, AI has its purposes, like you said, with things like localization and like tasks that are just monotonous, like the things that where you maybe have to copy or repeat things and assets, over and over. That's great use of AI. But yeah, as far as the creator side, yeah, AI is definitely not the thing to lean on. Like you said, AI is not a creator tool; it's a copy tool, right? It essentially takes what other people have done and just adds to it or deducts from it or things like that. And the catch-22 of AI is that, the fact that it steals from artists, right? It steals from artists. These artists don't get any kind of like pay, any kind of not even like a tag a lot of the times, right? No credit for their work. And the catch-22 of AI is that if it keeps doing what it's doing as far as AI tools stealing from artists, it's going to put the artists that it's stealing from out of work. And then at that point, what is AI going to be able to copy at that point? Because if there are no artists to copy from, AI has nothing to do. And then you'll have AI copying AI, which then just leads to stupid AI, right? It'll just grow stupider over time because it's copying itself, which is not original, and it'll just continue to get stupider. So that's the point. They need to find some way to bridge the gap between AI and creators. If AI isn't going anywhere, they need to find a way to credit, or more importantly, like credit and pay the original creators of the work, so that AI isn't just stealing and getting them out of a job or out of business, you know. But yeah, the AI for EA is looking like it's already having trouble. Like, reportedly, it's already having issues and problems. But again, that's to be expected. Like, even with the advances that AI has made over the years, it's still like shitty. Like, I can still tell when something's AI. Like, it's not hard for me to be like, yeah, that's AI. I mean, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Twitter in these last like couple of days. That one account that's been tweeting about this. Oh, look, this is the potential of AI in gaming, and it's like the crappiest video you've ever seen in your life of a AI constructed video game. Yeah, it looked terrible. Like, it looked like what's that Ubisoft game that they don't make anymore? I can't remember what it was called. The one with the dark side or something like that mode. I can't remember what it's called.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but it looks kind of like a mixture of that with like Call of Duty, and they're trying to make it look like a shooter. But then the character that I assume you're playing goes onto a platform that's beside a bus, and then as he keeps walking, the bus transforms into a damn subway, and then he gets on to another bus that transforms into like an elevator. I'm like, this shit looks like it looks like one of my sporadic dreams that I have, where shit makes sense while I'm dreaming it, but then when I wake up, I'm like, what the fuck was that? Right? Where you transition into one thing to the next and it just nothing makes sense. That's what it looked like. I'm like, this looks terrible. The shooting in it was terrible. He wasn't aiming at anything. He was just shooting into like the abyss. And they were trying to make it seem like this is the future of gaming. This is AI and gaming. And I'm like, if that's the future of gaming, I will fucking smash my PS5 into the fucking wall, because I'm not playing that bullshit. It looked fucking terrible. But yeah, creators are gonna have to find it, or more specifically, publishers are gonna have to find that sweet spot where AI can fit in, because obviously the reason they want AI is because they want to be able to not have to rely on workers that need things like, oh, I don't know, salary, healthcare benefits, retirement pensions, those pesky things that humans want, right? They want to have less of that and more of something that they can just have maybe like a small team manage and let the program do most of the work, right? That's regardless of what these publishers say, that's what they want, right? But they know the fallback from trying to just go full force with this. So they're trying to slowly trickle in AI into it, and like, oh, we're just gonna use it for like, random maintenance and things like that, just to tweak things.
We just want it to assist our team. We don't want to replace our team.
It's an assistant tool just to help creators, right? Yeah, I'm sure that's not why you laid off like 25% of your workforce, because this is an assistant tool, right? Like, okay. Like, you're consistently closing down studios and laying off the workforce, but then expecting them to go into production and, not impede on their work schedule and be able to put out a game in the same amount of time with less people involved. But you're telling me that this AI tool is just simply for assistance. Like, okay. Like, I don't know who they think they're fooling with that bullshit, but again, it's going to be companies like EA, like Activision, like Microsoft, like even maybe Sony, that are going to try this bullshit, that are going to try to push this type of rhetoric and policies into their gaming. And it's going to be up to gamers and creators to kind of push back on this and make sure that it is only being used for things that could actually help games and help creators, like localization, like doing some of the unnecessary coding and things like that. Like, leave the creation side to the creators, let AI be the thing that like kind of mops it up and tightens it up, right? But honestly, the fact that the AI tools aren't working and apparently it's taking more money to fix it than it was to like invest in AI is so fucking funny to me. I hope it costs them more money. I hope they keep losing money in AI because it's what they deserve. All right. EA had a lot of layoffs, and so the fact that they're now, investing all this in AI and AI isn't working out the way they wanted to, is only funny to me. And I hope these problems that they're experiencing only get worse. Just because I really don't like EA as a company. I mean, they do have some studios that I like as far as like their indie sector when it comes to the team that made Split Fiction and things like that, and obviously the Respawn team that makes the Star Wars games, the Jedi Fallen Order and things like that. But other than that, yeah, EA is a shitty ass company. I mean, they've been trying their fullest and their damnedest to try to get rid of single player, right? Their whole mantra the past 3 years is like, that when there was that trend going on that she's a 10 but thing that was going on, and they were like, oh yeah, she's a 10 but she's into single player games. People were like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah, they got dragged for that.
No. They were like, wait, no, that's not what we meant. We were just saying like she's even cooler because she likes single player games. I was like, no, that's not what that means.
That's not how the trend works. Yeah.
Yeah, they were trying so hard to save face. Like, no, we weren't saying it's a bad thing. No. We were just saying, because she likes single player games, she's even higher than a 10. And we're just like, shut the fuck up, EA. That's not what you meant. Like, you want everybody on your live service bullshit, like the little fucking EA Sports bullshit that you make, all that shit that makes you the most money. You want to move into that.
Yeah,
okay, you want more people onto that.
The EU had to make rules to basically stop them from trying to appeal to kids and having kids steal their parents' credit cards in order to buy, EA packs.
They were turning these children into gambling addicts. Yep. Like, so much, exactly like you said. The EU had to step in and was just like, bro, y'all doing too fucking much. Relax. Like, it's just, and this is just the kind of corporation that EA is. So the fact that, they're, fully leaning into AI is honestly no surprise to me. And I am just laughing at the fact that they're having trouble with it. And I hope they continue to have trouble with it. To be honest, I wouldn't shed a tear if EA was to just dissolve and disappear. They won't, because they make a whole bunch of money, but again, I personally feel bad for the developers that work there.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't feel bad for the entity that is EA. I'm honestly upset because they just got is EA or was it Take-Two that just got their no, I think it was EA that got the license for Madden renewed. I'm like, why does the freaking NFL keep giving EA the license, man? Like, I get they make a lot of money, but they are doing nothing with the Madden series. It's so stagnant. Yeah. It's not getting better. It's getting shittier. It got to the point where I think it was the 2023 Madden or 24 Madden. They didn't even bother updating the assets. Like, when you were playing Madden 24, there were still banners out on the football field that said Madden 23 on it. Like, they didn't even bother updating shit. Like, that's how little work they put into this shit. They don't put their all into it. Like, they just copy and paste the assets in the last game. Yeah, because it's the only Madden game. It's the only way you can play NFL football, because they have the only license for it. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
I don't like the fact there's only one company that's in charge of that license. I think it should be something that's spread out, kind of like how Star Wars is now, where anybody can license the IP if they have the money. I think the NFL needs to do the same thing. I think having one company that's the solo in charge of it, they can do basically anything they want with it. It's what sets up these predatory practices that EA gets away with, right? The fact that they're so fucking lazy with that shit because they know niggas will buy it because there's no other football game that's available, and this is it. You either buy it or you don't, right? So that's how they treat it. Like, they treat like we don't have to do anything because we don't have any competition, and this is why competition is important. But I mean, again, that's the whole that's the whole topic we were talking about earlier. But yeah, I just don't feel that I don't feel like AI is going to be in a place where it's just a tool for companies. I feel like it's going to be the thing that incites a lot of these companies to try to replace the creators that they have in, and they're gonna sit here and tell us things like, oh, we're getting rid of it because it's redundancy. No, it's not redundancy. You just think that the AI can replace that person that you just fired, right? Like, oh,
Exactly.
that the thing you were doing can just be replicated by this program, and they're gonna find out real quick that that's not the case. And I hope it hurts them hard. I hope it hurts their pockets, because that's the only thing they really pay attention to, right? They
Yep.
don't really care about our opinions about AI. They only care about their bottom line and what it does to the profit margins. So I really hope it hurts them in the pockets. I really hope they have like a terrible quarterly, right? That it's just in the negative, like it's in the red, and it affects them, to the point where they realize that we can't lean on these tools the way that we thought we could. But yeah, that's how I feel.
Cool. Yeah. No, I'm definitely there with you. Um, these companies, like I say, you can't. We have had a billion examples by now that you cannot give these companies an inch, or they will take the rest of your life. Not a mile. That should be the way that slogan works. They will take everything if you let them. So yeah, definitely.
That means everything.
Yeah, everything. So, but yeah, Weeb, how are you feeling about EA and their AI partnership and how it's going to, help artists, and whatever lie they're
Yeah.
telling us.
Yeah, help artists find a new job. Huh? Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, like Microsoft. You use the
yeah,
AI that
exactly.
fired
Yeah,
you
that
to
shit
help
was
you find a
crazy.
new job. I was like, what?
Yeah,
He was wild for that.
yeah, they are. Like, look, I mean, AI is here. Guess here to stay. I mean, I have my thoughts about it, but I mean, everybody, like, if you're in IT, you got to start using it. But you know, AI should indeed be a tool, a tool to assist you to automate tasks. I mean, and it has been like machine learning has been used in game development for a while now, so it's not necessarily new in that sense. But the idea that you can use this to take away the actual creative aspect of game development, because that's the difference, between coding a piece of software that just does a task from A to B, to creating something that essentially could be art, in some cases. Um, yeah, I mean, you don't want to make this with these large language models as they're doing right now. As you said, it's basically just uh, you know uh, searching through data and finding something that's close to what you're looking for. And look, you can do a lot of interesting things with AI. I mean, there. I mean, I work for a software development firm, and I know a lot of our developers are using AI to sort of assist them to um, uh, develop, help them developing code. But in the end, you always need to have a human eye on it, because it will hallucinate, as was the case with EA, which causes a lot of extra time you need to fix it, and that's not something you can prevent. There are ways to sort of to understand why does it do that, but it is a limiting factor to the usage of AI. Plus, there's always a tendency every time they get an update, um, they
To
do tend
break.
to hallucinate more.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it is. I mean, like I have personally, like I've had discussions about it, like, yes, it can definitely help, make your work more efficient. At what cost? And not just loss of jobs, but also, I mean, the gay, like, we're not paying the actual cost for uses of AI, because if you were actually paying the actual cost, the amount of energy needed to run those data centers to
To
run these
generate it.
AIs.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we would be paying, like, you should be paying like 10K, a month for using these, for using these AIs. And that's not going to happen, because nobody's going to pay that amount of money for something that is useful to to take away a couple of tasks you don't want to do, or do repeatedly anyway, and you don't necessarily have to do it yourself. Um, yeah, I mean, that's kind of, and with a world where we're living under constant threat of climate change, that probably is already, I mean, it's happening, and probably already too late to fix it. But
Yeah, it's already catastrophic at this point.
yeah, I mean, well, there are, we've sort of passed the point where we could have stopped it, where we could have said, okay, we're not gonna we're not gonna be affected by it. But we're past that point, and the only thing we can still do is try to mitigate it,
Yeah.
as much as possible, so that doesn't get worse. Because yes, that's the problem with climate change. It sort of, you can't really undo it. Like, it's sort of a, just like like with Xbox, as soon as they bought Activision, it set things in motion that led to this. With climate change, as soon as that 1 degree rise in temperature has been reached, it set things in motion, with a snowball effect that you can't stop. And the only thing you can do is try to, mitigate it, and redirect it, hopefully to a point where it won't harm you as much as you would hope. Which, um, guess is a bit of a tangent, but uh, it's at this point, I think, from a geopolitical standpoint, mostly the Western world was kind of, okay, fine, we're not going to pay that much attention to it. We're going to pay lip service to it, because it doesn't affect us for the
Yeah.
most part. It mostly affects the global South. Now there's a risk it might affect the West, because it might change the ocean currents, and which could drastically change the climate for Europe, but also for the U.S., which,
Oh yeah.
could have very, very different consequences.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna say
yeah, I mean,
we're already getting like
yeah,
drastic measures here, like tornadoes in places that have never
yeah,
had
yeah,
tornadoes, ice storms in places that have never had ice storms, uh, like supercells and super storms in certain places, longer uh, storm seasons, like severe storm seasons that are doing more damage and bringing more rain than ever before. So yeah, like they've sat here and told us, I like politicians have still sat here and told us, like, I think climate change is fake, and it's like, bro, I'm literally living in it. What are you talking about? So yeah, a lot like how they lie about that, lying about the effects of AI. It was a good comparison, because that's perfectly stated.
oh, and the direct connection, because AI is literally contributing to climate change, because we're
Exactly.
wasting a lot of energy, and producing a lot of extra heat, with the just running those data
Hmm.
centers. Yeah. And then the question is, is it worth it? That's the question. Regardless of whether or not you think it's useful, or how much time it can save you, is worth. But again, yeah, it's general sort of almost philosophical question about I think that in that sense I'm more concerned about that than the very idea people have, oh, what if AI takes over, which will not happen with with large language models, but yeah, I think the thing we need to be more concerned with the people using it than
Yeah, the people
the
using it
piece of
are
software.
dangerous. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, man, Skynet's happening, man.
Oh,
Skynet's gonna take over.
yeah, but it's always gonna be like take Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, in the end, it was the humans who fucked up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. AI kind of actually saved us with Gaia,
Exactly. So it all depends how you use it. But I don't trust EA to be able to use it in the proper way. It's very typical
X.
evil corporation that they would use it in the worst way possible. But like, oh yeah, we're just gonna use it to generate art to direct games. Like, okay, like I know you are used to producing slop, with because you're generally just making sports games or egregious monetized games, but I mean, come on, like you gave the examples already of how terrible AI games are. Um, I mean, the only thing that I would say the AI is used for in terms of actual creating games would be like mobile games. Like, there's so many crappy mobile games. Like, yeah, I mean, you could have told me AI made this because it's probably will be just as crappy than if you have some shady mobile app developer created. But for actual the amazing pieces of art, like a game like Expedition 33, an example, like AI couldn't generate that. Like it, and if it tried, it would like, aside from the obviously stupid things you would see that makes no sense, it would be so soulless. It would be so. I mean, even if like it's kind of hard to quantify the sort of the human aspect of the sort of the uh, a person putting something of themselves into it, which you can't quantify, but you can definitely see it. I mean, just we can see that something is created by AI. We know that this is not made by by human hands, but somebody who wants to convey something creative. Like even like the worst, like B movies, sometimes have a certain charm to it because they're that the director wants to convey something. Could be something very stupid, very self-centered, but in the end, they wanted they wanted to make this movie because they want to to tell something, right? Yeah, you can do this with software that in the end is just regurgitating anything you fed it, and will come up. It will come up with. I think this is probably even the lawsuit way to happen. Not per se for the rights of artists whose arts get stolen, but it's gonna come up with stuff that like if you probably gonna use likenesses of famous actors without their permission. They're going to infringe so many copyrights that there's going to be so many lawsuits coming out of this that it's probably gonna they're gonna settle it, but in the end it's gonna cost them so much money just because they want to take a shortcut and say, oh yeah, we don't want to pay anybody to actually make our games. We just want to press a button and input some garbage and get garbage in return and hope that it doesn't return anything that's it's going to lead to a lawsuit. Like it's so and they're expecting us to just accept that. I mean, I wish them luck. I try to make one of your flagship titles with a completely with AI, and let us know how that turns out and see if people notice it and will are willing to give you, continue giving them the money. I mean, I wish them luck, and I think at some point, if you're known to be an AI company, I mean, I know Thrifty is somebody said like boycotts don't work. I think boycotts work if they're done from the right intention. Like boycotts don't work from people who are just this
Just grifting.
tiny vocal minority who are against like who think everything is woke, blah 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 blah. These people don't fucking play games, so them boycotting a game is not gonna make
It has
a
no
iota
actual
of
effect.
difference. But
Exactly.
exactly, the only thing they're doing is probably just increasing sales because people are talking about the game, and they're just some people might just buy it out of spite or to spite them. But like but they're definitely like, I mean, look at like even without the right reasons, look at how it turns out if you release a game, if Epic makes a deal with a game and it's exclusive to Epic Store, it directly affects their sales because a lot of PC gamers are just boycotting Epic Store because they hate it, so they want it on Steam. So there are direct consequences to if you take an action that people find egregious, will have effect, and in that sense as well. Like if you're coming out with AI slop and try to sell that with a $70 price tag, hey, guys, this is our next, I don't know, FIFA or Battlefield or whatever, but clean made with AI. Like, okay, good luck. Like I mean, I know especially the FIFA fans are very diehard, which buy the same game every year over and over again. But I suppose they will probably have some issue if AI messes up the teams or the players, or suddenly turn it into basketball game when it's supposed to be football. Sorry, soccer for you guys, but yeah, I mean, they will eventually pay the price for that. There will be people that, yeah, fuck it, like you're a garbage company that doesn't produce anything of value. So why should I give my money to you? I can find my fix elsewhere. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, fuck around and find out. That's EA's current trajectory, I suppose.
Indeed. Omar, take us out with this your final opinion, man, on EA going AI.
So, I'm gonna keep it short because I am not Morgan, nor Weave, nor Innate when it comes to this chat. All I will say is to answer Weave's question. Imagine if AI created 33, it would be a Square Enix game.
Oh man.
Yeah, I had to say it. I literally thought about it when you were talking. I'm like, you literally just described Square Enix at its finest right now. But outside of that, I understand that they are all trying to become the first one to make it work, but it's gonna cost them a lot
Yeah.
when it comes to
Like
developers.
Morgan
When it
said,
comes
I hope
to
it costs some of these companies everything.
yeah,
Cause screw them for that.
and mind you, everyone is using AI, including PlayStation. Like PlayStation is not absolved from this when we're talking about this. So it's gonna be interesting to see if AI stays or not, because right now everything what I've been hearing about AI is so abysmal that yeah, it's gonna be a clusterfuck when it comes to AI for the developers. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Get back to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything to add. I think I agree with everything Morgan and Weeb said, 100%. So, yeah. I mean, with that, we're gonna go ahead and get ready to get up out of here. Again, chat was lit today. Thank you everybody who came out. Yeah, it was. We got to see some new faces, some faces we haven't gotten to see in a while. So yeah, it was good to have everybody in the chat and have all these important conversations for the future of Xbox, AI, and all these different things. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get to our intros and get up out of here. Weeb, where can the people find you, sir?
Yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter as the Weep Sheriff at Infinite Rhizome, as well as Blue Sky if I'm can be found there every Blue Monday. Yeah, a great show. A lot to talk about. Obviously, Xbox always finds its way back into the conversation.
They do, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, I do. But hey, we should be grateful for that because it gives us something to talk about.
Content, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I mean, again, despite the fact that there's so much, negative things happening in the gaming industry, we're also very lucky that there's so many great games available have come out this year, and keep on coming.
Agreed.
So we're not complaining as in we don't have anything to play. I mean, if you do, then I mean you should get out more, touch some grass, and then go back inside and play some games because there are so many games available. There should be no reason for you to have nothing to play. Yeah, and with that I leave you with Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
And then it was quiet.
My bad. Yeah, my bad. My mic
How are you
wasn't.
gonna say out Nation
No,
without giving
my
my
mic.
outro first?
Yeah, my mic didn't trigger.
And
But
you want to leave very quick, don't you, Weep?
but yeah, Morgan, where can the people find you, ma'am?
Yeah, you can also find me on Twitter at Chill Bandit, and also on PSN at Chill Bandit because I'm definitely gonna be on there after this gaming. So like we've said, there's so many great games to play, and like it's something for everybody, right? Something from the small single A to big triple A. So my advice to you is try everything, right? Like you never know what you'll like as a gamer, right? And I think there's a lot of gamers out there who really don't know what they like. And that's why
Agreed.
they're so upset about the current generation because they feel like they're not getting enough games. And it's because their viewpoint is so small when it comes to what games they'll play. Like, so try everything. Don't stick your nose up anything because again, you never know what could be your next favorite genre. But yeah, like you said, crazy news. But it makes me think that because of all this crazy news we've been getting about Xbox, that PlayStation's about to drop something right around the corner. Like PlayStation's just about to be like, all right, it's our time to steal the spotlight. Now we have some bad news for you folks.
Not gonna lie, they should.
Not they should. I don't know about should.
They should drop something good.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was
okay.
gonna say.
I was talking about bad.
Yeah, I think he meant the opposite. Yeah, that's why I was like, wait a minute.
I was talking about bad.
Oh yeah,
So I was
you
like,
were talking about bad news. Yeah, that's the demo.
yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did in a week or two, just to kind of turn the tables. The scale has been leaning one one way, so it has to correct itself with PlayStation dropping some bad news. So I'm sure maybe next week we'll be talking about something PlayStation did, but we'll see. Regardless, though, like we've said, we're gonna keep gaming. So play some great games. Thank you guys for coming out. It's been a great chat, great podcast, and Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
And Omar, where can the people find you?
So good afternoon to everyone that came through. Hit that like button, share the stream out, and you can find me in Taliban.job on Twitter. Also, you can find me at Vitamin D Podcast. Finally, I'm gonna be back every third Wednesday, 8 p.m. at the Standard Time. Yeah. Also, you can find me cooking because I'm about to eat. Later, everyone.
Yep. And I am your host, Innate, also known as the Real Innate on Twitter and Blue Sky. Again, yeah, at the end of the day, remember it's all about playing these games, especially these good games. Definitely, support the developers out here who have created some amazing works that we get to enjoy in this tough industry. But yeah, with that, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
Otter Nation.
And
Of course, Omar. Oh,
yeah,
God.
Omar ran away from the mic. He's supposed to say Otter
Jesus.
Donation it is, but he's not here. So with that, we're out.